All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Club Top Shot. It's a little hard for me to do these intros when the second we go live, I see Jack doing a costume change. But the joke's on Jack this time because I did catch the screenshot. So I do have a shirtless screenshot of Jack. So next time I need to blackmail him, I do have that. Jack Settleman, we got to let everyone know what's going on here today. But how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I got my signed Kevin Durant jersey. And I got my Perry the Platypus hat, and I'm excited because everyone's getting some packs today, baby.
That's right. Everyone's getting some packs, and it's a pre-order, and everyone should get them within a couple of weeks here. And so we were talking with Jacob and Benny over at Top Shot. They're like, hey, would you sickos like to host a companion stream for the pack drop? We're going to simulcast it to their Twitch, which is going to be embedded on the Top Shot site during this. And they gave the keys to Jack and I think against their better judgment, especially Jack, now that I have a mimosa here in hand.
Yeah, that was a dangerous, just the brunch proposition was a dangerous idea for the club, but they'll get some entertainment out of it.
Yeah, so, I think they're working on getting us up here on the site in a second. You guys are more than welcome to hang out here in the YouTube chat as well. My goal is for the YouTube chat to be less toxic than perhaps the Twitch chat. Jack, how do you think the massive influx of users come in are going to react to a man like me who knows very little about the NBA and a man like you wearing a platypus hat?
It's going to be the wait time, right? That's what is going to piss everyone off when even the 3,000th person could be, an hour deep in line. So imagine what 200K is going to be. I'm curious to see if they'll stick around and watch us or check in for some entertainment. I'm excited to see who we can get on the show today. This is a rare instance where we don't really have a guest lined up, but I feel like if there's enough buzz in the community and people are tagging, I would love to see some NBA guys hop on.
Yeah, that is going to be fine. Let's do this right now, guys. I'm going to go to the share screen because you are eligible now to join the pre-order drop. So we can do this live together here on my account. I refreshed. I see the button. We're going to go to join pre-order.
Oh, it's open.
It's open for the pre-order.
Oh, wow.
Oh, and what's this Twitch stream right here? Is this going to be like Inception level?
Yeah, probably. Is it going to play us?
We'll see. We will see.
Oh, interesting. So I see that 20 minutes. So 10:15 drop. Okay. Good thing I didn't make a bet today. That's good.
Oh, would you have lost the bet if it was pushed back 15 minutes?
15 minutes. Yeah. I should have built a bigger window for me, but that works. All right. So I guess send my text out now. The people are ready.
All right, Jackie Tech, still haven't signed up for this service. Still don't trust Jack with my phone number.
All right, here we go. Text is out. All right, I like this, and I'm curious. All right, so what's our bet? How many people do you think will grab packs?
So this one's tough, right? Because this is going to now, actually, this is a good question. Is this open just now for 20 minutes? And if you're not here within these 20 minutes, you're not going to have it's open all. Yeah.
Whenever you can join. People were saying that they might just keep this open for 2 weeks.
I don't think that's going to be the case.
I don't think so. But in theory, it kind of makes sense to a degree. Anyone new coming in over the next couple of weeks should be able to get one. I'm curious what they'll do. But I see some numbers in the chat. 235, 166, 175. So we've talked about in the past, like even NBL and Andy, who have nice account evals, they grind $9 packs till 1 a.m. if they get in queues, stress tests, etc. This one where you have to wait a few hours, do you think that people like that will be grinding these packs?
I think so. And I think, we've seen how quickly people mobilize on short notice. I mean, you're going to have the long tail of people talking about this, people coming in. And the one thing, right, the signups aren't happening. So this is going to be for existing users.
They just moved it back to.
We jumped. So Jack, if you lost your bet, sent the moment, they do have to now send it back.
Right.
But yeah, so what was I saying? Yeah, it feels like it's going to be basically every single person. I know that's hyperbolic, but let's say what, 80%, 85% of all users on the site will probably line up to pre-order a pack today would be my guess.
And what's your guess on EV on the packs? Because I feel like that's like the OG discussion that we used to have was like, once the packs are open to the masses, maybe they won't be as EV, but the Ant Edwards dunk looks like it's going to be in there. I think I saw some rookies are going to be in there. So it feels like more traditional cards where you're not guaranteed a profit, but you are going to be able to kind of sweat that out.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't done any math on it. Just like shooting from the hip, I would say like more in like a 2x EV range. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of people are asking, is this going to destroy the Series 2 moments? Like a lot of their lower ones. I actually got some pretty good pretty good discussion with someone from the Club Top Shot chat via Twitter DMs talking about how a lot of people are just focused on singular moments and they aren't thinking about the big picture of what Top Shot is, the video game aspect, the fantasy aspect, and that sets are going to be very pivotal in this stuff. So I see a lot of people selling off their Series 2. As you know, I hold everything because I think just having a balanced portfolio is kind of the best way to do it.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And I'm completely rechanging my strategy. Before, when I was getting those Series 2, I was flipping them. I was trying to level up to Series 1s. I have been burned. I opened my MGLE, moment last night, my other comments. I'm not selling.
Yeah.
And Jack, I forgot to tell you this morning, I aped into completing the Cool Cats challenge. I was just like, screw it. I need to do it.
No way. Did you have the Luka and everything, or you're saying just, oh, really? So you're going for the LaMelo.
Well, I want to give myself the option to go for the LaMelo.
For the LaMelo at this point. There's no turning back at this point, and you know that.
Well, what I've said is the beauty of the Cool Cats with the Master Challenge is you can get off the highway anytime you want. There are going to be buyers for it. Right. So I'm like, why not keep going? Why it's relatively affordable, knowing if I need to liquidate because it just becomes big boy prices, there's going to be a buyer for all my moments up to that point.
100%. I have no clue what that LaMelo price tag is going to be, but it's going to be a fun one. I'm actually most curious to see what the Anthony Davis one is, right? Because the Luka one shot up to almost 5 figures. And where's AD going to be placed within that? He has a lot of moments on the platform. He's obviously a superstar. So we'll see. It's interesting.
Yeah, Mike's asking me. So I had completed the first one to get the Luka, and then I had gotten a Cool Cats pack, and I got John Wall in it, and I had also scooped the commons necessary. So I was missing the PJ Washington, the Julius Randle, the DeMarcus Cousins, and the Tyler Hero. Shout out Tyler Hero. And I'd been watching the market a ton. I'd been waiting for a dip. Yesterday, there was like a slight pullback. There was a Tyler Hero for $750. I kept waiting, thinking they might drop. I missed that window, and I said, forget it. I feel like if I'm representative of like the general psychology base of people going for the Cool Cats, people might be waiting till the last minute and the prices might actually go up. So I'm like, I'm just pulling the Band-Aid off now.
All right, here we go.
All right.
Let's see what you pull. And this is the funniest part. In my head, joining the queue was going to actually be like first come, first serve, because it doesn't matter what's first. But now I'm realizing you could end up like 100,000 people deep, and we could be here till 8 o'clock at night.
Well, here's the thing. We are, as Jack alluded to, this could be a little bit of a marathon stream here. I do have a hard out in about 2 hours and 45 minutes. That will be the max. We do know Jacob from community manager at Top Shot is going to hop on here in a little bit. He's going to answer some of your questions. Otherwise, Jack and I have not booked any guests. We have no plans. And I do feel like the goal of this stream needs to be like, I want like Fred VanVleet on in like the next 2 hours, basically.
Yeah, I need Halliburton to jump in. I was thinking about putting out a tweet to Pat McAfee and Gary V, see what they're up to on a Saturday. We'll have to see what the vibe is around Twitter as we kind of go through this process. All right, let's see. Chat. Some people are...
Here we go.
Oh, nice number, Pete. 24,725. That's clean.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed. 10,992 for your boy.
Look at that. Now I have a question for you because I can't refresh my screen because I don't want to go away on here. Yeah. Let me see here. Oh, I realize we have a technical difficulty here for getting this over to the Top Shot Twitch. That was on me. Benny, I am texting you now. I messed that up on my end because I am a streamer who's on his 19th stream of the week. And I messed it up, but the settings should be good now. The settings should be good.
Yeah, Nico pulled a top 5,000. I guess this is the one time you're not looking to pull a crazy high number if you're going to use your pack luck. But
imagine the guy getting number 1 for the pre-order.
Yeah. Yeah, Iceman said, go ahead, waste your Q luck now.
Yeah. Sick brag about having a life. I mean, at this point, my wife has been so incredibly patient because normally, like, I'll do some shows in the afternoon. Maybe I do my Wednesday night shows. Maybe we do one club Top Shot. We're doing shows every night this week, Jack. Like, what's happened to us?
I mean, I'm not going to lie. When you told me yesterday that this was a possibility, I was like, that's a lot of streaming we're doing here. But it's been so much fun that like last night, felt like 8. Like Roz was there for what, 45 minutes? I thought she was there for 3 minutes, and then like we just chilled for 2 more hours. It was awesome.
Yeah. If you guys are new on the channel, we've been doing Club Top Shot. It's Jack, myself, and Peter Jennings is our normal third regular co-host. Although he just had a child and he's had some dad life commitments of late. He said he might poke his head in the door today. But yeah, we've been on an insane heater of shows. Kick things off on Monday with Damian Lee. Just a total awesome dude. Love talking to him about Top Shot. Then we had Scal and Steph Sudo on Thursday night. Super fun show. And then last night, Skeets, Trey, and Roslyn. I mean, Jack, it feels like it's getting hard to top ourselves.
Yeah, well, the outfit topping, I'm pretty much running out of options. I pulled this out of the bag that I found this morning. But I think we might get a little break from Club Top Shot for a little. So that'll let me revamp the outfits and potentially we can line up some big guests.
I want your new thing to be, I feel like you should get really into like Tommy Bahama shirts and just cycle through all the floral prints.
I mean, the joke was that I was putting on a blazer and then that was just like going to one up like how nice we were looking at the club, and it's really spiraled out of control, but it is what it is.
See, Jack, you perfectly lull me in every time because I'm like, I get on the stream pre-show and you're wearing a t-shirt and I'm like, oh man, he finally phoned it in. I'm going to look super fresh. You're going to look, just like a drab, young kid. And then of course the costume change every time, Jack.
Tip of the Perry platypus cap.
Yeah. I will say you probably don't want to get in a prop competition with me, but it also appears like you might even have less shame than me with what you're willing to wear on here.
I mean, this has to be this Perry the platypus hat has a hat, which is the greatest part of the entire bit.
Yeah. I see some people in here asking some questions. I mean, this is well above my pay grade, Melody. Maybe when Jacob comes on from Dapper, we gotta, if you're new here, Jack and I are not on the Top Shot payroll. We do not have insider information. They were just crazy enough to let us stream out to everyone while we all wait in line. But we will try to get you guys some good information to actually answer your questions. I will say they also put up a blog post about this. Jack, did you read the blog post about this drop?
Did I?
I don't know. You tell me.
I did, but what part are you referencing?
I'm referencing a part. There was a bullet that said funny business tolerated 0. And I was like, uh-oh. I hope that doesn't mean my kind of funny business. I think they mean more like multi-accounters and stuff. Yes, so that funny business will not be tolerated.
They would shut us down if they meant no funny business and they saw what was going on right now.
Yeah, someone do a screenshot of the no funny business allowed and then a picture of Jack and his platypus. There's a meme for you. Boom.
Wait, get this comment up from Ryan. Do you see it? I don't know if he's being serious, but I feel like this is like actually a negotiation that has to happen. Ryan, DM me on Twitter right now and we'll check. Because if he can get me costumes on the low, I mean, this is the biggest issue, right? Is I pick up 10 costumes for a moment, right? We do that exchange and I bang out some costumes, but then this all leads up to the live event we're going to do in partnership with NBA Top Shot in Vegas with Fred VanVleet. And it's like, at what costume do you even pull up at that point? You know?
So yeah, people want that. We're going to work on this meme, Jack. Can I get a still for the meme? There we go. Get your screenshots, folks. Get them right here. The funny thing, you reminded me of a story. So one of my favorite stories, pre-corona, I would go with my friends every year to Vegas for the divisional round NFL weekend, just go watch games, play poker. And one year, one of our regular buddies wasn't going to be able to make it. And then he found out at the last minute that he could make it. And I was like, Travis, we got to do a bit. We got to make this a surprise. So we made sure no one knew he was coming. And I said, Travis, I want, we knew we would have our happy hour, cocktail hour in the hotel room before we go out. And I say, Travis, I am going to send you a sailor costume from Amazon. I'm going to send it to your house. And I want you to knock on our door and pretend like we ordered a male stripper to come to the room. And having my buddy Travis show up in sunglasses, dressed like a sailor outfit, and knock on our door and watch my buddies' faces as he came in with a boombox and started jumping on the bed. The look on their faces was one of the most priceless, dare I say, moments I've ever seen in my entire life.
It's amazing. I like Amico's question. What am I going to wear when LeBron buys the moment off of us? Oh, that'll be a good one. The funniest part is I have a pair of his shoes that I bought years ago. It was my first ever actual collectible buy. They're like the eat your breakfasts or finish your breakfasts. They are the ugliest shoes of all time. But I had $300 for my birthday. And I just bought them. And I said one day, I'm going to get them signed by LeBron. So those will definitely be in the costume. I'll have to think about what else I can get.
So I do see we are now officially up on the Top Shot site. Everyone coming, looking for Tyler Hero they normally see there. And now they're just getting a couple of jabronis in basketball jerseys. So shout out to the Top Shot world. We are Club Top Shot, Peter Overzet, Jack Settleman, and we will be, you know what, Jack, one of my favorite comedians, he actually passed away. His name was Harris Whittles. He did a podcast about fish where he would try to bring his comedian friends on and convince them to like fish, because fish is a very polarizing band.
Oh, I thought you were just talking about fish in general.
No. Sorry. Fish, the band, the jam band. Okay. And he would open his shows by saying, we are going to be, or I will be your tour guide through the cosmos here, through the fish cosmos. And now I find myself saying, I will be your tour guide through the cosmics is kind of what
I like that.
There we go. So shout out Harris Whittles.
Will they ever release Cosmics ever again, or are we done?
Well, I thought, isn't that what? No, there's going to be Cosmics. That's going to be a bedrock of their.
I thought Hollow, MGLE, and Base. Are there going to be Cosmics, right? Because there's no Series 2 Cosmics right now.
Yeah,
does anyone know in the chat?
This is what happens when you get two guys up that don't know about the roadmap, and then we just start wildly speculating.
Yeah. I mean, I would love if Cosmics became a staple, that would be huge. But I have a feeling that they might be done.
Okay. All right. That would make them immensely valuable.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, Cosmic is a one-time series. It's done.
Okay.
And I think people don't realize that. That's what makes them so unique. They're first from the first.
Wow. All right. There you go. I'm ending this stream. I need to go buy a Cosmic. I just learned that
you already own a fractional piece of a Cosmic.
I am very fortunate to own 1/10 of a Nikola Jokic Cosmic and 1/4 of a CP3 Cosmic. We are Eskimo bros with our CP3 Cosmic.
We are. And are you happy that I convinced everyone to get in on that?
Oh, for sure. Well, I felt bad actually, because you had ID'd that. And then I was circling back with those guys, and Brian, my buddy Brick75, who I do a regular show with, Lulz, he was like, yeah, let's do this. And I was like, Jack will kill me if I don't get him in on this. But you also already had one. So no,
I have a CP3 one already, but I wanted, that was one of the only times I wanted to sell some moments to go and buy, but I don't like selling moments. So it was easier to just take a piece of it and follow CP3 to the promised land. But I may finally be a seller, which is going to make people think I'm extremely bearish. But it is not because I am bearish. It is because Alan the GOAT was leaking some info. He was subtweeting this morning and was mentioning that my boy Emmanuel Quickly will be having moments on the site within 2 weeks.
Yep.
And for that, I've already announced publicly, I'm going to try and buy as many Emmanuel Quickly moments as I can. So I might be selling some moments. We'll see.
My buddy Ryan Hodge asking a pretty good question. How has clubbing all day and all night every day impacted your workout routine? I've definitely dropped. Normally I'm 3 to 4 times a week getting a good workout in. And this week, I think I was down to 2. So
yeah, I worked out for the first time. I mean, I went skiing, so there was a little exercise, but I worked out.
Sledding, Jack.
Sledding. But I worked out, lifted weights for the first time in like 2 weeks. I'm extremely sore. And it was nice to remember that like physical stuff in real life like still exists. And then when I went to shoot hoops, I was gassed. Like 4 minutes of shooting hoops. I'm so out of shape. So I got to work on that. Sometimes we got to remember, put down the phone and get out there.
Just to let people know how this is working, if you're trying to figure out why are some comments on the screen. So we're on my YouTube channel here, the home of Club Top Shot, and I'm able to put those up. And then I have the Twitch chat up. So I see you guys Twitch, going to be checking in on you guys. I don't have the functionality to bring the Twitch chats up on the screen. So that's why that's happening. But I see you guys. I see you. Someone saying, lots of people go in on moments together. Ask Overzet about his Jokic 1/10 fractional ownership. Yes, yep. It's beautiful owning 1/10. And I mean, we joke about it. It definitely, for me, is fun to have the bits. But I do think this is the future. The moments are going to continue to be more pricey, especially the premium ones. And people are going to want to have access to owning a fractional share of one of those.
Yeah, fractional investing is going to become part of the platform, whether Top Shot chooses to do it or whether another part of the platform. Oh, hello, fam. Welcome to the pre-order base set. Over 100,000 people in the queue. And what's so important about that number, today, 100,000 people are going to get packs, which means 100,000 plus people actually want to buy packs. And that's what everyone was very upset about yesterday. They thought, oh, we're just here to do this, not be part of the community. You have people who know they're going to be buying a pack today and are getting a pack. This is, I mean, I'm a bull, but everyone knows.
There you go. I see Nava GF over in the Twitch chat, fractional investment and how can each investor protect themselves? I mean, this is a great question. Right now, I have only fractionally invested with people I consider very close friends and people who have large public profiles. If Jack tries to take our CP3 Cosmic and skip the border, I will publicly put him on blast. I will destroy his career. But no, for normal, you need to make sure.
Remember, too much social equity to be lost by scamming anyone here. Yeah. But when Pete says very close friends, he means like we communicate over Twitter and Discord. I was actually thinking about showing up late and then essentially forcing your hand by saying, hey, in case that happens again, I need your number. But I know you would maybe then sign up for my text service to get in touch.
Keep trying, Jack. I mean, the second I give you your number, you're trying to sell me your platypus hats at a 125% markup. I'm not falling for it. But just to circle back and put a bow on that, I do think we're going to continue to have resources, and whether it's via Top Shot or third-party apps that help facilitate this in a trustless way. I mean, that's one of the entire mottos of crypto is verify, don't trust. And so I think if you're excited about fractional ownership, be patient if you don't have people you trust to go in on it, because I do think those things are going to continue to pop up in the marketplace. Don't you feel like that's pretty imminent, Jack?
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, so much stuff's coming down the pipeline. We know that. It's just a matter of time. And once again, we're in beta, and Jeff Jones is here. Good morning, Jeff Jones. Welcome to brunch at the club.
That's right. This is the funny thing. At club, my go-to drink, I'm a Bloody Mary guy. That's my jam. I didn't have materials in home to make a Bloody Mary, so I had to go with the mimosa today. Do you have a morning preference drink?
I like the mimosa as well. I'm not a huge fan of the Bloody Mary, to be honest. I get the Bloody Mary to eat the bacon, like if a restaurant is serving that. But I mean, talk about like we haven't been going out and seeing people, and this is the closest thing to going to the club. I can't even think about a brunch with friends and going out for like a crazy day at all. That's like the last thing that I'm doing right now. So yeah, I like a spicy Bloody Mary, but my drink of choice back in college was red Gatorade with vodka. So who knows? I'm not a man of class, clearly.
All right, so we got my guy Clay, who runs the Club Top Shot Twitter account. He has the meme out. We have no funny business with the settlement. You guys head over to @Club Top Shot Twitter, bang the retweet on that, and let's continue to publicly shame Jack for thinking it was a good idea to wear that.
Oh my God. If we could get Emmanuel quickly in the club. Like, all right, so I put out that guest list like a couple weeks ago, and it was kind of like a joke because it was like Mark Cuban, CJ McCollum, or LeBron, etc. But like, at what point are we getting like are we going even bigger than all we've done before?
Yeah. I mean, like, so yeah, I want Fred VanVleet. You want quickly. And then I want to get Damian Lee in the club with Steph Curry. That's
for sure.
And
with Damian's wife, who is
yes.
Steph's, but Damian's wife sounds way cooler than Damian. Like, they're playing Fortnite together. Like, she sounds awesome.
Has Damian and the Steph like, because I know some families have done it. Have they gone on Family Feud yet?
Not that I know of.
What if we did Club Top Shot Family Feud with Damian Lee and co?
I mean, that would be electric. That would be electric. I do know that Damian got Pascal into it, so I was chatting with him yesterday. I know that after DMing Jamal Murray, who is a friend of mine, and he absolutely ignored my message like about 10 days ago. Now he's retweeting, how do I get into Top Shot? So I DM'd him this morning. I said, just throwing it out there. I know a guy who knows a guy about Top Shot. So the players are coming soon. And what happens when we just need to infiltrate? We need to infiltrate one star player, one all-star, and then they're going to tell everyone all-star weekend. And then it's just we're rolling.
Who do you think, because, you know, lots of incredible NBA basketball players, who do you think of the all-stars would be the most entertaining on a stream? Just ready to mix it up, roll with the punches, bust balls.
That's a great question. Let me pull up the all-stars just so I don't forget anyone. So I know someone had been DMing with me about Joel Embiid buying Embiid moments because they think he'll embrace the platform because he's like a troll, funny guy. He's amazing. That's a good question. Let me keep looking. Julius, okay, Zion, he's a younger guy. CP3, I mean, that's like actually the true dream. Like, I'd rather have CP3 on Club Top Shot than LeBron buy my moment for $1 million, which is probably silly to say. But CP3 thinks really intelligently about a lot of this stuff, so it'd be cool to hear his viewpoint. Donovan's a great guy. He's a young guy. Brad Beal's pretty funny. Giannis gets a lot of hate because, you know, he's a top player and a lot of people like to hate on him, but he's one of the more fun, entertaining players and like kind-hearted off the court.
Hey God, I realize what I want, Jack. I want to go the other way. I want to know who is the guy that I need to get him to crack. I want to get Boardman, Kawhi Leonard on here and get them to smile.
Would we give him my Cosmic to come on and smile? Like, is that?
I would give him your Cosmic, Jack. I would be willing to do that.
All right. How about this? I'll give Kawhi a fractional piece of my Kawhi Cosmic if he comes on Club Top Shot.
Can Kawhi trust you? I don't think he would give you his number.
And well, he doesn't have much social media, so he's probably missing the wave here. You know about Kawhi's Twitter handle, right?
What is it?
Pull up. Well, you can't pull it up right now, but Kawhi's Twitter is like, I think he's tweeted like 4 times in his life. And so I don't know if he scrolls and follows many people, but I wonder if he even knows. I
can pull it up here.
Okay, pull it up.
Do you know also how much I've changed of late, Jack? I am now using dark mode on Twitter. I've been bullied.
Well, I got bullied, but I stuck with light. I actually tried putting on dark when I got bullied. I didn't really like it that much, so I don't know.
What is his? Okay, I found his account here.
Jamie Perry says, "Come on, Jack. Boardman gets paid, not Boardman gets fractional shares of a moment."
Boardman gets fractional shares would be a great T-shirt idea.
Everyone in the chat who's like, "Yeah, he'll buy your whole thing." Okay, if Kawhi wants to come on Club Top Shot and buy the whole, Look at that. His last retweet was something from 2015.
I should probably hit him with the follow. That's the first.
Who are the 6 people that he follows? That's what we need to know.
Let's do some guessing. Can you guess?
Okay, so I know one of his most famous retweets is Obama, so I'm going to throw that one out there. I'm going to go, he probably unfollowed the Spurs. Does Pop have a Twitter
Do you think
account?
he follows Drake?
No shot. No shot. God.
What about like CP3? Not CP3. Who would it be?
It would be like Tim Duncan or Ginobili or Parker, like one of his real good old teammates. Let's see who it is.
Let's do it. Here we go.
Jamal Crawford. Oh, he does follow the Spurs.
He still follows. He doesn't even follow his current team on Twitter.
He doesn't use it. He really does. Wait, how about HEB? So HEB, I know because I went to school down there, is like an official sponsor of the Spurs, but Wingstop San Antonio is still big, right? That's incredible stuff. And then Jumpman, that makes sense. This
is like one of the most hilarious follow lists for a player of his caliber in 2021. It is hilarious.
Can we talk about Jamal Crawford? First of all, when his moments hit the platform, I mean, he's got some of the most entertaining stuff, and he's super active on Twitter. You can see he's quote tweeting stat news. I feel like he's a possible target to get on the show. He's a super fun dude.
Yeah. For sure. I mean, that's the thing. You know, we talked with Scal the other night, and, you know, he's like, I mean, I'm loving Top Shot, but I want my moments on the site. Like, think about kind of the run it back funnel for some of these greats to getting pulled in, because they're like, yeah, that's cool and cool, you know, all. But Jamal Crawford's like, I need to see me crossing someone over on Top Shot.
Yeah, and players like Gilbert Arenas and Allen Iverson, who have so much love for the current day game, like AI's moment's coming. But I feel like he's going to want to come on the platform, especially when that Reebok trust fund hits his bank account, and he's just going to buy up all these guys he absolutely loves. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, for sure. I see someone in the chat says they have secured their pack. Congratulations.
Wow. I'm up to 6,600. This thing's moving. It's definitely moving better.
It is, but I do think it's paused right now, according to my thing. We have welcome to the pre-order base set, Series 2 Release 21Q, over 100K people in the queue. We're pausing it temporarily while purchases go through, but we'll be right back. Expect it to be back in 5 to 10 minutes. Jack, I mean, they put us on here, but why haven't they started to use my copy idea at the end of these little status update messages and say, 1 moment, please?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, first we come over here, we have to entertain hundreds of thousands of people for free, no influencer perks. And then second, they won't even take your suggestions. It's I don't know. It's crazy.
It is, you know, but to everyone hanging with us on this Saturday afternoon, we appreciate you guys joining us. We should have Jacob joining us here shortly. I believe he must be pretty busy with some of the behind the scenes stuff with this. And we will we'll bring some other guests on. Don't doubt that Jack and I could vamp for 3 hours straight. But don't worry, we will bring some texture into the club. Oh, speak of the devil. Look who it is.
What is up? How are we doing today?
There he is.
Wait, I didn't get the memo. I need to get a jersey. Is that the case?
Yeah, man.
All right, I'll be back.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna pull you off here, and you're gonna come back. There we go. Look at that.
Imagine coming underdressed to the club. Ridiculous.
Yeah, it is kind of like I feel like we have mashed up so many different club aesthetics, and today's aesthetic is like pool party club, I think is what it is. You know, we're sitting by the pool. Maybe we're at an all-inclusive, Jack, bottomless mimosas.
I said that. Most people want bottomless mimosas. I want bottomless packs. Who do we put on?
Yeah, who do we have?
We'll take some guesses from the crowd. I don't know if Pete even knows the name.
He doesn't even know the team.
Okay, Jack, you see the number, right?
I
number
do
9.
See no.
Can you guess the player?
Is it current?
No, it's a classic.
Is it Allen Houston?
He's a classic Nick, but he wore number 20.
Where did Jack go? Don't go.
He's just going to like Basketball Reference looking through all of them.
This cheater. Is it Charles Oakley?
I'll give you a hint. He's a similar player to Facundo Campazzo.
Oh baby, I got the spoiler from the chat. Pablo Prigioni.
There you go.
Mamma mia. All right. Jack, what did you do? Another costume change?
We got the RJ Barrett signed jersey on for my boy Jacob.
Wow,
because
there
he's
we
a Knicks
go.
fan with me.
Number 9. Well, I'm kind of bitter that the Knicks didn't retire Pridge's number. So
yeah, no,
Barrett snuck in.
That definitely was deserved.
How are we doing today, guys? Thanks for having me.
We're doing good, man. We've thrown up the club back-to-back nights. I've been fairly hungover, and then you guys said, hey, you want to throw up the club again at 12 in the afternoon? And I was like, all right, let's do it.
You're just on a bender right now. It's crazy.
That's right. You kind of have a beard that looks like you might be on a bit of a bender too, just a different kind of bender.
Yeah, it's been pandemonium. We're all a little delirious, but we're excited to get these packs out to everyone. And we're really grateful that both of you are happy to kind of host this event that we think will go on for a little bit. Now, I don't know how long it'll take, but certainly we have hundreds of thousands of people in the queue trying to get their pre-order. So right now we're kind of trying to make sure that the queue stays really solid. So there will be intermittent pauses throughout, just as we see kind of lags and potential kind of issues. We're going to make sure that we mitigate those as quickly as possible so that everyone can get their pack cleanly and smoothly.
Yeah, so we got some questions coming in here. I think we should do some table setting for, kind of this drop and how it's working. I think one of the first questions I've seen pop up a bunch is why 2 weeks wait on receiving the pack after securing it? Yeah, so right now there's just some technical limits to the number of moments we can mint in a single day. And, if we're getting yesterday, we had 200,000 collectors trying to line up for a premium pack. These packs have not yet been made. I want to make that explicitly clear. So we're going to mint exactly to the demand of the number of collectors that purchase. So we kind of have to get all of that data before we can start minting, A. And B, we need to, it's not as simple as just gifting one by one, right? Like there are hundreds of thousands of collectors that are going to need to get their packs. So making sure that they get it sent to their proper account and that it goes smoothly. That takes a lot of technical resources from our team. And of course, we're not shutting down the entire operation altogether just to make this happen, right? There will be hopefully some other pack drops happening. There will certainly be challenges going on. Marketplace hopefully will be as 24/7 as possible. So while all of that other stuff happens kind of in the day-to-day of NBA Top Shot, this is just an added on kind of technical resource that we're throwing to the kitchen. So, I think needless to say, not every single day is a flawless day on Top Shot. And we're working very diligently. And I think we can all attest that the progress that's been made in recent weeks has been really, really phenomenal. But again, trying to get millions of moments made into these packs and then distributed one by one to every collector in the community, that certainly is an added kind of weight to the entire operation that we're in the business right now of trying to under-promise and over-deliver. So if it takes 2 to 3 weeks to get out, then we're going to be expectation setting, just because we haven't done this before, and we're not in a place where we have 100% confidence of how quickly it can happen. So we want to be erring on the side of conservative.
All right, that word keeps getting used. It was used last night. It is a regular adjective, quickly, but it's also a very meaningful word in my vocabulary. So Alan was hinting at it. I know you are. You want the moment too, without telling us when. Inside or outside of 2 weeks for our boy IQ Godson?
I think outside of 2 weeks. I can't say for sure. I'm not kind of the keeper of the content, but I know that we had a internal debate about whether to include him in these pre-order packs. Right. And there were clear trade-offs of doing that. We went with the collection of rookies in these pre-order packs that we think are going to be really enticing to the community at large. Of course, James Wiseman is one of the headliners of the rookie class. Peyton Pritchard making his Top Shot debut. Xavier Tillman making his Top Shot debut. So we're trying to kind of spread the wealth across this rookie class. We have some nice headliners in this one. quickly we'll be in a different tranche, so to speak, of rookies that make.
And then for today, how many? Like, when are you cutting off orders? How's that functioning?
So we're not cutting off orders. We're cutting off the deadline to enter the queue.
Yeah. So when would that be?
So that's going to be at 2 p.m. Pacific, so 5 p.m. Eastern.
Okay.
So as long as you're in before then, you'll have a guaranteed opportunity.
Oh, wow. So only 30 more minutes to potentially get a pack today.
No.
Oh, no. Eastern
5
time.
2 p.m. Pacific. Got it. Okay.
I'm also on the East Coast, so I always am trying to retrofit to Pacific time.
Well, I know the company and the headquarters are on Pacific, but what's the guess what's the breakdown? I feel like there's more East Coasters, and I could be completely naive to that.
Yeah, you are. It's I would say like maybe 10% of the org, 15%.
Oh, no. The org I get. I'm talking the people on the side. Yeah.
Sorry.
Because even like ESPN, right? Like it's split across the globe, the time zones, but the Eastern time tends to be like the lead time.
Yeah. I would say that we have not gone through the data with a fine-tooth comb to
you have
really
more important things to do.
But to your point, like, we do know we have a tremendous presence overseas internationally, right? Europeans, Asia markets, Australia, everyone is trying to get on these packs. So I'm sure you both have seen in Discord plenty of times people saying, I woke up at 4 a.m. for this, only for it to get pushed back. And like we get it, and we're really trying to accommodate everyone. And I think like a drop kind of midday Eastern time, morning Pacific time, that kind of helps us hit every time zone as kind of effectively as possible. And certainly when you have a global product like ours, we can't accommodate everyone across the world, but this kind of checks the most boxes, I think.
I have a question for you, Jacob. This is coming over from our Twitch chat here. Billion Boys Club says, why did you pick these two people for talks?
So I think you guys have social proofed it, right? Like, if Skeets and Roz are good enough for the club, then like Top Shot's good enough for the club. So we're really happy that you both were willing to help us out today. I think like it's a fun little way to keep collectors entertained while they're in the queue. Certainly an opportunity for us to explain some questions, FAQs that are coming up as, you know, maybe there are pauses in the queue, there are kind of stops and starts. Again, we're trying something new that's part of being in beta. Like the pre-order system is something that's come together fairly quickly in the past maybe few weeks, because we recognize the urgency to get base set packs out to collectors that haven't yet been able to get their first pack.
You know, we will have done a bad job if people are hankering for the old thing, which was just kind of the music and the loop of the wait screen. If they want that instead of us, Jack, we failed.
Yeah. Let's go through the Twitch chat. Let's give Twitch some love.
Yeah.
We've got over 30,000 people watching us, and I'm wearing a Perry the Platypus hat. What a world. Shout out to Brazil. We've got Brazil in the chat. We'll just rapid fire you some questions, Jacob. Does minting mean just creating the packs?
So it's kind of a two-step process. We mint the moment. So we have, 4,000 of that Peyton Pritchard moment. We mint all of them at once. And then we have to randomly pack these packs. So there's a random assortment. It's a two-step process.
Got it. Okay. Some other questions would be just any insight you could give on new accounts being paused, if that should resume shortly, or maybe it's going to take a little longer than we'd like.
Well, certainly for today, at least till this queue concludes, we're turning off the sign-up feature. With that being said, just in the last 24 hours, I've gotten, I think, a dozen NBA players hitting me up like, yo, how can I sign up? So we're certainly not trying to keep it closed forever. But yeah, it's certainly something that we're aware of, that, yesterday we had a huge day of organic kind of marketing, right? Like some influencers were able to get their premium packs. They made videos around it. Yeah. Certainly some mainstream players in the game, be it ESPN, Sports Nation, whoever, they were doing content around Top Shot. So we know that there's a lot of demand and appetite, but especially for something as kind of sensitive as a pre-order opportunity. We want to kind of curtail any nefarious actors in the community from being able to really take advantage. And we knew the second we announced this last night that if we had signups on, there would be hundreds, thousands of accounts created instantaneously.
Yeah. What is the thought on, the queue system makes so much intuitive sense for kind of like the live drops, but what is the thought for using it for a pre-order versus, if you just go in and people just kind of give their email and pay and, you guys collect all that data? Why the queue for the pre-order?
I think the queue in general, the thought behind the queue, and both of you are OGs in this community, so you remember the pre-queue days.
That's what I was telling them last night. Like, a lot of people don't even remember where it was first come, first serve, and it was ugly out there.
Exactly.
This is such a better system.
It just makes sure that the site can handle the load. And we're talking about a load that's exponentially grown each week. So, we were thinking, not to get too technical because I'm going to butcher like the technicalities of it, but I think there was a time not too long ago that we were struggling to handle hundreds of requests per second. And now we're in like the thousands and handling it pretty effectively. And the queue's been a big help for that.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, how much of like what the queue and stuff, was that in your long-term roadmap of like, this is where we think we're going to end up? Or is that like, holy cow, we have so many new users and your devs are like, we need to come up with a new solution fast?
Yeah, I think maybe a little bit of both. I think we always wanted to have kind of a menu to choose from of different ways to distribute packs. And I think necessity breeds the best creation. So certainly the queue, we looked at what other kind of high in demand products have done, be it PlayStation 5, how they drop those, or Ticketmaster when World Series tickets goes up. So we had the benefit of some other kind of, obviously not NFT products, but some other kind of physical products, and how they've been able to do equitable distribution, and we've taken notes. And
can I address two more things in the chat? Number one, this is actually something that I had an issue with weeks ago for the Hollow icon drop. I got in the queue on my computer, and then for whatever, the one day I happened to have a life, I had to go and leave my computer, and I wasn't up yet. And you can't switch to your phone. Is there anything that's in the works? Is there a way to do that, or is it too complicated with bots? And then number two, I'm just seeing a couple of people on Twitter, a couple of people in the chat. It's paused for a second. They're having some ordering problems. Ordering problems have come before, but will actually turn out to work out. Is there anything you guys are going to be able to do to assure that those people who got their reservation, they'll be able to get their packs?
Yeah, so we have a specific form that we'll get to you as soon as possible. I don't have it handy, otherwise I would share it right here.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have a specific form for troubleshooting today, especially in those instances. I think to answer the first question, again, we're trying to kind of crawl before we walk and walk before we run. So the ability to have a QID on your computer and then transfer it over to your phone, I think that might make us more susceptible for abuse. So certainly not a bad idea for 90% of the community that would value that, and then the 10% that would abuse it. Just kind of, we often use the expression, this is why we can't have nice things.
Yeah. Well, chat, it says right there in the queue, 10 to 20 minutes we'll be back. We'll be kind of flying along. The first time you guys have done anything at this scale, which is absolutely incredible. So, working through the kinks, like I can't even imagine being a back-end engineer live, right? Like you can do as much prepping as possible, but once you see the first issue, they got to be going in and fixing it on the spot. So everything you guys have done has been amazing so far to kind of handle the load, the extreme loads, as the chat was saying.
This is why we offered you guys to host, because you're just awesome shows, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I see there's lots of questions for people here about, do I need to stay waiting all day? If you're deep in the queue here, can you come back? Can you change devices? It does say right here that we can refresh the page. Dare I flirt with this? Let's see if, see guys, I refreshed and it's all okay.
And if you are on your phone and you're curious if leaving the Safari app, because that's a big worry, is like what happens if I leave the Safari app? You'll be fine too. I wouldn't like close out of it, but you can go play with other apps on your phone. You can text me and do whatever you want.
Look at this inception that's happening right now. It keeps going further down the rabbit hole here.
Why is that happening?
There's little Jacobs in the multiverse that are spawning.
How about the fact that Top Shot has more live viewers than Tim the Tatman himself on Twitch? What a world. What a world, Top Shot community.
You want to know why? Because there's one thing that transcends everything, and it's win packs. Win packs, guys. Win packs. Yeah, let's see. What else do we have going on here? Some of the other questions here. We'll try to check in on the chats. We got those all up. Thank you guys for tuning in today. Jacob, I asked Alan this the other night. I was like, are there any kind of general FAQ questions that you get so much that you just want to go on the record, answer it, and be like, stop asking me this?
Yeah.
He's like, I have a lot.
I literally have 5 blogs that I'm like, we're trying to evenly distribute the blog so it's not information overload, and we know that our collectors don't necessarily read anyway. So I think one of the most common ones is, and I think Alan said something in the same respect, people are always confused about stress tests and drops and how they differ. And I think like just clarifying to everyone here, we don't announce stress tests because the intention is for us to test a new feature. We don't have full confidence that it will be successful. If we emailed out saying this is going to be a stress test and it failed, we'd get so many more support tickets. It would just be a massive headache. So I think on that regard, like, just stay chill. Anytime we're going to do a limited edition drop, you'll get an email 8 hours in advance. When we do stress tests, the only way that you're going to be able to stay on top of that is go to Discord. We have over 150,000 collectors in there. About 33% of our collectors in there had never used Discord before joining our community there. So by all means, like, yes, we get it. Discord is somewhat daunting to a new collector that's never used the platform. Our community on Discord certainly has a lot going on. But if you want the latest on stress tests, that's the place to go. If you are more down to just wait for a more kind of certain drop to happen, stay tuned for emails. And you know, I'd be remiss to say that even when we have confidence in a drop and we send out an email, sometimes we have to move it then. So like, you can only imagine how much less confidence we have when we're doing stress tests, and kind of how haphazard that might be as far as pushing it back 15, 20 minutes consistently.
And I think Jacob makes a good point about the Discord thing. I joke about the toxicity in the Top Shot General Discord. You know, you get a lot of angry, kind of mean-spirited people. But what Jacob's referencing, there are different channels in there that are purely information-based with announcements, stress test updates. So if you're afraid of the general toxicity, just find the right channels that work for you. There's stuff for everyone in there.
Yeah, and can I also just... I think it's timely because we literally just published this blog yesterday, but we just put out a Discord mission, vision, values, and rules. So you both are going to be better at getting this circulated to the rest of the people watching the stream right now. But we do know that Discord requires a little bit of cleaning, and this is kind of what we're going to do to ensure that it goes smoother.
Nice. What are some of the things we're doing in here? Do people have to sign a pack, a blood oath?
No, I think more than anything, this is just expectation setting of what we require of our community members. And if you're not willing to abide by these rules, then you're going to be subject to getting benched, which is an indefinite suspension from the Discord. And if you come back from your benching, you're going to get waived, as in you're going to get banned permanently from the Discord. And this kind of formalizes the process to ensure that collectors are always going to be kind of going into the Discord with best intentions and minimizing any issues, because we do get tons of support tickets about things going wrong. And until now, we haven't really had formalized documentation explicitly saying what you can and can't do. So this, we hope, will kind of go a long way to ensure that the community is both protected and the toxicity that you were alluding to, Pete, is mitigated and kind of nipped in the bud. And we've made great strides there in recent weeks. I think that even from where we were at the beginning of February to now, it's a different kind of territory. But certainly implementing these rules is going to go a long way.
I saw some people in the Twitch chat asking a question that I'm curious about. How many devs do you guys have working on stuff right now?
Yeah, it's a great question. So let me look. I'm going to have trouble giving you an exact number, but I'm going to go to the Slack channel and just see generally how many people are in there. I think we've got 40 people in the channel, but certainly not all of them are devs, right? I think the company in total is 100 people. So you can kind of use that as a reference point. Obviously, we have plenty of designers, marketers, community, finance, all across the gambit, every discipline that any startup needs. But certainly our dev team is, they're our MVPs. They're the ones keeping the entire product afloat. About 50 devs is the message I'm getting.
So like half the company is devs. Right
yeah. About that, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah. That's still incredible too, for the operation and how quickly you guys are scaling to only have 100 employees. And I know you guys have been posting job listings too, right?
Yeah, we're actively hiring. You can go to axiomzen.co and check out the career listings. axiomzen.co/careers. And that's where you can see any job that we're hiring for.
There you go. I know what the other thing people keep wondering are for new users who are stumbling on here, they want to, set up accounts and stuff. Do we have any timeline for them?
As far as re-enabling signups?
Yeah.
I would say we'll have a lot more clarity on timeline after the queue. I think like the TLDR of why there aren't signups right now is while this queue is going on, we have to make sure that everyone trying to pre-order a pack is a legitimate Top Shot collector that didn't just hear that there's an opportunity to, maybe hoard packs by creating tons of accounts. And we have great protections in place. If you've already purchased your pack today, you're going to be able to re-enter the queue, but that's just a waste of your time because by the time you get to the front of the queue and go to purchase, you're not going to be able to purchase that second pack. So I would not recommend anyone waste their time by just sitting in the queue to try to get a second pack thinking that you're gaming the system.
Here's a question, or not a question, a comment I have to pass along from Nick to FR. Not going to lie, Jacob, but you're sexy AF. Jacob, so there you go, man.
Right, thank you. I mean, we're in the club together, right? Like we're wingmanning it.
Hit on in the club. I love it.
There you go.
All right, we'll answer more questions along the way. Let's talk about some of the fun stuff. Jacob, we talked even weeks ago, and it was starting to blow up, but it's gotten to the point of no return where this thing is it's a beast and it's rolling. What are you most excited for from not like a feature standpoint, but who do you want to see talking about Top Shot? How do you want to see them engaged in it? For me, it's like, what if Drake is, what's up, Katie?
Yeah, I'll have room for kind of a tired looking old lady with a messy bun.
Well, we are all tired and old looking right now, so you're going to fit right in.
You might need a hat, but nonetheless. But Jacob, what do you want to see? What type of crazy engagement do you want to see from who? How do you want them to do it?
Well, I think Katie and I are both kind of, so let me introduce Katie to the members of the community that might not know. She is the GOAT of Dapper Labs. She's the one that orchestrated the original deal with the NBA to get Top Shot to become a thing. She's my boss, and she's the hair flip. She knows. She's been awesome, making everything happen behind the scenes for years now. And we're kind of thinking of different ways that we can really get the players even more involved in Top Shot, be it, creating showcase contests of their own and creating quests for their fans. But maybe I'll put her on the spot and see, because I know she's got some really great ideas about other things that she's excited about.
Real quick, Katie, I just do want to say someone is going to do a slow-mo GIF of you flipping your hair. That I think that is going to happen.
I really hope so. I hope I get auto-tuned in that as well. Yeah, I mean, when I think about, we're talking about player engagement, like athlete engagement.
Yeah.
I think, so I've been in the sports world for a long time. Before Dapper, I worked at the NFL and the NHL before that. And so a lot of kind of background in working with leagues, teams, athletes. And one of the things that I think is like makes me so stoked about Top Shot is that players can participate in any way they want, like without us having to tell them what to do. We're not like tweet this and like hashtag ad. And so there's just so many opportunities for them to do really anything they want in the product. And we've been getting suggestions, like, first of all, between like DMs and inboxes, we're just getting inundated, like not just NBA players, like NHL players and NFL players who are like, can you verify me? And we're like, probably not right now. But I think that's like the best part of it, right? So anybody who wants to get into it can get into it. Anybody who wants to can create a showcase. I've always said that I think merchandising is going to be one of the best parts of the product once we get all of those tools in place. Like I can't wait to put together showcases and be like, not only am I super smart and great at putting together showcases, but you can buy this whole showcase. Like you can take all of this work that I put in. And I think that's actually going to be great for players to be like, hey, here's a showcase of stuff. I was in half of these plays. Like I'm narrating half of these plays. I think there are just so many things we can do there. I'd love, like, I think we're in baby steps now, but I can't wait until we have like players appending their own like commentary to moments and like adding value to that content and signatures and like, there's so many things.
Well, the two of you talking about it made me think, because we saw Damian and Terry going back and forth, like players are going to showcase their jersey swaps the same way we see on ESPN and Bleacher, like the OBJ is walking around his house and the jerseys are hanging. They're going to have them on the platform, which is just going to be another amazing use case for the showcase, which I think is actually probably the least utilized or talked about thing right now, because it just falls so down the priority list. But that's something that's been around for a while that people just haven't really been using. Besides for early challenges, right? Not challenge, but you guys used to give a couple rewards to the top showcasers.
Showcase contests, our pre-challenge feature.
Yeah.
I love that. You got to put the corporate speak in the quotes. What I'm curious, what was the negotiation like with the NBA? How much arm twisting did it take to convince them that this was a really good, mutually beneficial thing for them?
Not that much arm twisting. They really got it right away. And Adrian, who did the deal with me, the original deal with me, is dope. She is awesome. And her and I are like personal friends now. We like go out to dinner when I'm in town. And so it didn't really take that much. Like they were looking at blockchain already, but more like ticketing and, how do we put our media rights on blockchain? And we were like, that's going to take you 15 years. Like, let's start with something maybe that's a conservative estimate. Somebody from the league is probably watching like 15 years. Get out of here. But we were like, there's so many things you could do with fans now. And that gets blockchain into people's hands without them even knowing it. And like, there are all these benefits and they don't have to worry about the crypto part of it. And they were like, yeah, that's probably a pretty good idea. I was looking back at the initial like presentations that we did for them and they're horrible. Like, the idea is really good, but like, they're like Times New Roman grave font on a white slide. And I was like, that is wild that myself and Mac, our former creative director, like walked into the NBA league office and we're like, this is going to be huge. Check out this presentation. It was so bad.
That's funny. I think we all have made a bad PowerPoint presentation in our lives. It's a rite of passage, I think.
I make one almost every day.
Yeah, except Pete. Our bad PowerPoints aren't normally to one of the biggest leagues in the world.
You're right. It's true. All right. For everyone tuning in now, this is Club Top Shot. We do streams about Top Shot. We've had a very fun week. Had Damian Lee, Brian Scalabrine, Roslyn, Gold on, just super fun time. And these guys against their better judgment, invited us to host the pack stream. So we got it up on my YouTube. We got it up on the Top Shot Twitch stream. What's our viewers right now, Jack, over on Twitch?
We're up over 35K, which means there are a lot of people online. For everyone who's in the Twitch chat, let us know who's last in line. That's a fun game we like to play. We like to hear who is last in line right now, because we also like to see how many people are trying to buy a pack. So let us know. I did have some friends who were pretty upset that they ended up getting the top 100 queue number for this one, where everyone's going to get a pack. So that was pretty funny. But line is still paused at the moment. We'll keep you updated when that starts moving. But Twitch chat, let's hear some last in lines. I see some 145K. That's the leader in the clubhouse right now. How many people were you two expecting to purchase a pack today?
Yeah, well, I looked at the email list. We had over 300,000 people open it.
Open
the email we sent out.
That's a good open rate.
3 a.m. We had 200,000 people lining up to buy a premium pack yesterday. Certainly that is not a starter pack at $99. So we anticipate a bigger audience for this one, and I think the guarantee that you're going to be able to get a pack should be quite appealing to a lot of first-time collectors that have not yet had the opportunity to get their hands on that pack opening experience.
I have a question for you, Jacob. How many of your own friends are in your DMs right now, being like, how do I get higher up on this pack list?
Man, I've been every day. So I think like between Twitter, Discord, Top Shot Twitter, going to Instagram sometimes, and then emails and Slack. Like I don't get to check my texts until like 2 a.m. And then I check it and it's like 1,200 messages. And I'm like, okay, like I forfeit any TLDRs here. And they're always just like, yeah, when our packs. And, so
that vicious cycle, I've been experiencing it too, going from Discord to Twitter to Instagram to Slack to email to text. And it's just like, once you finish one, it's like now you have to go do the whole round again just to catch up on everything. Caty, I'm curious about your StreamYard handle here. Why were you formerly known as CJ McCollum's biggest fan?
Because now that we're going to work directly with him, I have to like keep it a little more on the down low. I recused myself from his onboarding because I was like, how embarrassing is it going to be for me to fangirl in front of CJ, in front of Jacob?
What's the CJ love for? Did you go to school, the same place, or?
No, actually, it's a weird one. So I'm from New York, and my first favorite sport is hockey. And I'm a huge New York Rangers fan, like super New York Rangers fan. And I moved to the West Coast, and I was like, well, I don't want to have like my basketball team compete with my hockey team. Like I can't have the Knicks and the Rangers in the same slot. And also I can't have the Knicks. I'm sorry, Knicks fans. I know. I'm sorry, Jacob. I'm sorry. And so I was like, all right, well, what am I going to do? And I was like, well, I love Portland's vibe. The Rose Garden is like one of my favorite places to watch a basketball game. Such a great spot, walking distance from breweries, just like a dream for a sports fan. And I was like, okay, I'm going to be a Trailblazers fan. That's like pretty much the team in the closest proximity to us. And so I've been a Trailblazers fan for probably like 10 or 12 years now. And CJ has been on the team for a long part of that. And my little brother went to Lehigh, and CJ was on the team when they beat Duke. And as part of that, there's also a really fantastic rap that a Lehigh student put together about beating Duke that I think one day everybody—
Let's get that up.
Yeah,
Let's get that up right now.
Hang on. Well, I have to get something else up here because people have moved quickly on the hair flip, Caty. It already exists.
Oh no.
Yeah, it exists. So there is the GIF. We will get this on Giphy so it's searchable for everyone. But there you go. That's the moment.
I'm glad they got taken out of the messy bun too, because that like is really part of the process. Like, let me take this messy bun out and flip it. The question is like, what track is playing? Like, what did you set that against?
Yeah.
Probably like Cool Cats Drop One soundtrack behind it.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, while you mention that, let's talk about that. That is our favorite part of the entire experience, is the new sounds we discover when different types of packs come out. Can you talk about any fun things that could potentially come from that down the line? And will there be new music for the pre-order pack?
Jacob, I'll let you take that one. I'll take the future plans when you're done with it.
Yeah, so I can't say for certain. My understanding is that with every new pack that we try to bring out, there's going to be a different soundtrack. For the pre-order, I know that there's different artwork, but at the end of the day, it's still going to be a base set pack, right? So we kind of, that's a question that's a fair one. I just don't know for sure, and I don't want to tell anyone the wrong answer. But yeah,
so
Katy,
yeah.
Katy definitely has what I can say for certain is that any given day, maybe half a dozen artists are reaching out to try to get us to listen to their samples to put it on tracks for the pack opening. But I think we have big plans there. Katy, maybe you have some more kind of long-term thoughts.
Yeah, I think we're talking to a couple partners about creating custom tracks for pack drops, which will be awesome. And that would be like, hey, this is the vibe of the pack that we're going to drop, and make a track that fits that vibe. So that I'm like super excited about that one. And then we have a whole bunch of, access to a whole bunch of great artists through partnerships with companies like Warner Music Group. And so as, Top Shot grows, like Jacob said, we're getting more and more interest in their participation. And so who knows, maybe like at some time Club Top Shot will have, an artist on. We'll be doing like a concert during a break.
See, I was going to say, that'd be sweet if you had the pack and then you could almost kind of choose your own adventure. You're like, I want club banger, I want reggaeton, or I want like hotel lobby music. Like you could, choose your own adventure.
And reggaeton is not always your option. That's not always your choice.
It is, but I wanted to make it seem like there were other options. We got our fellow co-host, Peter Jennings, who's a new father, in here in the chat. Shout out to Peter, a new dad who literally broadcasted live from the hospital room while his wife was giving birth to come on the show. That's how dedicated he is to Club Top Shot, guys.
Amazing.
All right, Jack. What other questions we got here in the chat? We got two Top Shot thought leaders here ready to answer questions.
One question that's popping up is how much can you talk about UFC Top Shot, or whatever that will be called, and any other future partnerships? And always feel free to pass or go as in depth as you'd like.
Yeah, no, there's not a ton to share, but we try to be as transparent as possible in all ways as possible. So UFC is, currently in development. We're working through creative now. We've had a couple first passes, but we don't want to just rinse and repeat on Top Shot. We want to make sure that it feels really good for MMA fans, and that there's almost like our creative team has started talking about like a framework for Top Shot like products where they're similar enough that you understand this is like a family of products, but they're also different enough to be cool for that fan base. So whether it's UFC, which is currently in development, or like, future sports like gridiron football, European football, lots of kind of different options there. Baseball, like you don't want those all to be exactly the same, because baseball is a really different sport from basketball, and the footballs are very different sports from each other. And so UFC is kind of underway. So I think we have a website where you could sign up for the wait list there, which is ufc.onflow.org. And that's a good place to go. We haven't figured out how we're going to do the beta for that. I guess we can't really do it in the same way we did Top Shot at this point. But we'll certainly be, tapping into that list for feedback and for early previews and stuff.
Awesome.
That's great. So I do see people wondering about the line being paused. Do we have any info of what's going on there?
Yeah, I know that our team is kind of working through some technical kind of backlog right now. And every time we pause the queue, it's with the collector's best interest in mind. And I am sure that it's frustrating for someone that's deep in the queue right now, knowing that it'll take both the queue resuming and then getting to the front of the line to be able to get that pre-order pack. But the alternative is us kind of being callous and not pausing, and then you get to the front of the line and maybe you get signed out accidentally, or the pack doesn't get the purchase is not kind of confirmed. So we're taking it slowly just to ensure that we're in a good position. We're also we noticed an issue that required a restart. And the idea is once we're able to kind of get that restart committed, it'll go faster. So while the pause might be painful right now, the idea is that it'll actually accelerate the process once we're back up and running.
So I feel like a question that a lot of people might be having, say I'm 100,000 in line right now. I haven't eaten food or bathed myself in days. If I were to leave and come back and say my time happened where it pushed me to the front of the line, like how long do I have? I'm just trying to figure out, can people leave and go do a few things and then come back?
Yeah, I mean, certainly I would say depending on where you are in the line, if you're 100,000th, I would not say you have to stick around. You can take a shower, you can eat, you can kind of enjoy your day. Once you do get to the front of the line, you have 5 minutes to act.
Okay.
So if you're within the top 5,000, let's say, then I would say stay glued to the monitor to make sure that you're in a good position to act once it's your turn.
There you go.
I did see in the Twitch chat, they want us to do some digging on you too. So we already heard that CJ McCollum will be joining in some form or fashion. I sent Jacob Eric Pascal's information, but you mentioned 10 to 12 others. Can you share any newcomers onto the platform that are very excited about Top Shot?
Yeah, I want to respect their kind of anonymity until they're ready to, either stream or. But what I will say is later tonight, we're going to go live with Tyrese Halliburton, one of the Rookie of the Year front runners. That'll be on Twitch later.
Is he old enough to come to a club? Is that why we haven't had him?
Don't throw stones from glass houses.
I'm just saying, he's a rookie. He's 20 years old. He can't attend the club. One day we'll get it. His second year, he'll be able to join.
And then certainly every player that we've worked with already, be it Terry Rozier, be it Josh Hart, they have been really excited. Terrence Ross, they've all had a great time with Top Shot so far. And I mean, I think everyone in the community has seen Josh Hart, sharing that he's like 70,000th in line yesterday and unable to get a pack. And I think we can anticipate safely that we're going to continue to kind of show love to the players that are showing us love and kind of continue to build those relationships. As far as kind of specific other players, I can drop kind of a few hints. We do have a Western Conference All-Star that's already signed up.
Ooh, that's a Jacob bomb, as they say in Twitter.
And there are some potential Eastern Conference All-Stars that are increasingly aware of the platform and looking to get started in the not too distant future, hopefully. So I think we're going to continue to see more and more players come. And what's awesome about the NBA is it's such a fraternity of players that have kind of, been teammates in the past. So they're referring their former teammates or their college alums. Breaking news is we just restarted up the queue. So things will start moving.
There we go.
Getting real-time updates. It's going to be a little slow to start, but it will accelerate over the next hour.
I think the coolest
go
thing
ahead,
about
Katie.
players getting involved too is that, like, I don't know if Jacob's talked about this before, but they're like reaching out to us directly. They're reaching out to their management. It's not like we went to a bunch of big management companies and we're like, you should talk to your guys about this. It was like they are getting super involved, and then we're trying to manage their managers. Like, y'all need to calm down. We're going to get there. You'll get verified. You'll get an account.
Yeah, and certainly, as you both know, having hosted Brian Scalabrine this week, like there are plenty of retired players that are looking at this as a way to kind of, reconnect with their former teammates from yesteryear and are increasingly excited about, these historic moments that we're going to be soon releasing to the platform. No firm timeline on that, but Run It Back was such a popular set the first time around. And obviously, when you think of the scheme of NBA history, there are so many unbelievable moments that we still have yet to bring to the platform. So, the sky's the limit there.
Yeah, I mean, we were mentioning new players signing up. I mean, I just saw my guy Fred VanVleet with the verified account FEV23 there, so I'm excited for that.
Yeah, what's up with the influencer like Instagram blue check, Twitter blue check? When's that coming? Pete needs his verification so people know where to send when they're tipping the bouncer. They need to know they're sending to the right account.
Yeah, there's there's a school of thought there that one day we'll try to roll that out, but it is a somewhat manual process. And even when NFL or NHL players, as Katie was saying, were reaching out, it does take us it's not no time at all to get someone verified. So right now we're focused on.
They listened, Pete.
This is how you know you're an influencer, when you can get the copy updated in real time on the pack landing plays. Win moments, please. I love it. Who's doing the copywriting for this one?
Oh, we have an all-star team. I think behind the scenes there, Pete, you've been in touch with Benny. I think you've been in touch with maybe Arthur, Allen, of course, and plenty of other kind of other brilliant minds in the war room right now, just making sure that communications are crystal clear.
There you go. There was someone in the Twitch chat asking how long it would take Jack and I to grow a mustache like Jacob's. I
haven't shaved in like 2 weeks. I don't really grow much facial hair out here. So I
don't even think a joke. I think I would need like a year and a half to get that mustache level.
I try to do like every 6 weeks, just start brand new, but I haven't had the time in recent days to be able to do that reset. So it'll come at some point. I'll be clean shaven. I'll call it the Jack once I do it.
There you
Katie, go. I see some people in the chat. They want to press you. So we haven't had someone of your stature from the Dapper team on yet. So
don't make me take my bun out to a hair flip again. Come on.
What can you tell us about withdrawals? Explain to the people why and the way the current situation is.
The current situation is, up until like 2 weeks ago, we had one single person handling verification and withdrawals. And we're like trying to get the team scaled up so fast. I think that like people think we had some like big, like well-oiled machine going on here in October and November. And it's like, we're a pretty small team. And we are trying to staff up really quick, but it really is just a human resources issue. So as we get more people who can help with verifications, and as we get more people who can help push through that funnel, it'll go much faster. We're already staffing up, and I think we have people starting next week and the week after. So that should be super helpful. And so people know the like verification process starts out as like a computer, like a robot deciding that you're who you say you are. And so like most of them pass through easily in that way. It's a really small percentage that get kind of caught up and need human review. And so that human review is what takes a long time. And when we were like, growing by, a few hundred, a few thousand,
I got withdrawals because I was early, right? Like it's just taking time at this point. It makes sense. Yeah. I just think a lot of people coming in were confused. So we wanted to have that explained.
Yeah. And I never think about it this way because, and I'm not allowed to play anymore. My like, when Pax face is a sad emoji face where I'm like, oh, Pax, I miss those. But like when I was playing, I really wouldn't withdraw that much. Like I used sales to create liquidity to get into other pack drops. And so I would encourage people to think about it like that too, that maybe don't think about withdrawing quite yet, because as we continue to like drop really hot fire, you're going to want to have some liquidity in that account.
The other elephant in the room is that, and we've been more kind of public about this in recent weeks as the problem's gotten bigger, but these multi-account situations are just out of hand. And in order for our team, which is still super limited, to do identity checks and make sure that the right person is getting the right withdrawals, when someone has 12 accounts and they're trying to request a withdrawal from all of them, it's not as simple as just like recognizing, oh, these are all 12 of the same people. It takes a thorough process for all of them. So I think as we kind of clean up, as people start merging their accounts, as we take harsher stances around scripts and automated bot behavior, I think we're going to be able to potentially make it a straightforward path to withdrawals. But I certainly think that it takes the communities kind of all kind of looking out for each other to make sure that these nefarious actors don't ruin the experience for everyone.
All right, I have a question for you guys. because on a lot of sites, you'll see kind of like if you go to Basketball Reference or some of these sites, they'll have like trending searches or players that people are most interested in. Do you guys have any data on like the hottest players that people are after, or maybe like which moment has been watched on loop the most? I'm just trying to get a gauge for where is the general public really kind of funneling to with these players.
Yeah, so I mean, I think with any NBA kind of product, the superstars certainly are the ones that are in the hottest demand. So you know who those superstars are. When we're talking about in recent weeks, it's been really cool to see as these players have gotten more involved in Top Shot, to see kind of the community really react and respond to these players getting involved. And, you know, there's certainly a lot of excitement to potentially acquire a moment from a player or to sell a moment to a player. So, you know, we're definitely seeing that. As far as kind of the most popular or the most transacted players, I think, you know, it's not too different from trading cards in that sense. The LeBrons, the Lucas, the Zions, the rising stars of the NBA are always going to be, you know, in particular, super coveted in the community.
You guys should be asking about what are the hidden gems? Like who's looking great off the bench? Who's your sixth man, Jacob? Who's your sixth man of the year?
Right now, I think it's got to be Jordan Clarkson, right? The Jazz are the best team in the West. Clarkson's been a fringe all-star himself. And I've been really impressed with kind of, you know, I think there's, and this is not a reflection on him, this is just generally speaking, when you're in a contract year, players tend to bring it. And Jordan Clarkson brought it last year, got a great contract, and he's only accelerated from there. And I think that's a reflection on him being more comfortable in Utah now, you know, first full season with the Jazz. But also just Utah in general has been such a beautiful team to watch. They're moving the ball kind of like the old school Spurs. Of course, Quinn Snyder, a disciple of Mike Budenholzer, who's a disciple of Pop. So there's a ton there. We'll see what that looks like in the playoffs, but I think it's been really fun to see Jordan Clarkson take off. Hey, Pete, how's it going?
Good. I'm loving the Utah talk. They've been probably the best story in the NBA, and agree with you. Their passing is just beautiful, and Clarkson's the scoring they need. Mitchell continues to improve, and obviously Gobert. I mean, the system's built around Gobert, who is still a really effective offensive player, which is pretty incredible given he only shoots around the hoop, basically just dunking. But one of the best screen setters, obviously one of the best defenders. So, yeah, and I was thinking about who I think the most likely Western Conference All-Star is that's interested in Top Shot. But
I see some conspiracy theories out on my Twitter. I'm just going to say blink if it's Rudy Gobert. And we'll just leave it up for the people to decide on that one.
Yeah.
What's up, Steve?
Rudy is he's been a huge part of their success, and yeah, probably the guy I've been the most impressed with that I'm just stoked to see him talking so much about Top Shot, who I think has a real chance to be the Rookie of the Year, is Halliburton, who just totally gets it. I was talking with Worldwide Wob the other day, and he's just so frustrated he's not in the Knicks. So Halliburton is we got
IQ. But yeah, I love Halliburton. He's a stud. Do you actually think he has a chance at Rookie of the Year? I know he's uber talented. I think Halliburton's going to be the best rookie from the class, but I think LaMelo is going to win the award.
Yeah, I haven't checked the odds recently. LaMelo is a clear favorite, but yeah,
it's so tough for guys who are in like draft classes like that too, who like have either a super strong draft class or like a superstar in their draft class, because it's almost unfair. There should be some other category of it for them.
I mean, people are telling us, like, that's the big thing on NBA Twitter, is like the Hawks lost the trade by getting Trey Young. Do you know what I would do as a Knicks fan to get Trey Young on my basketball team?
You would have booed him anyway.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it is tough to compare. And I think what's going to make this platform fun is it's going to open those relationships up to where we're not pitting them against each other the way NBA Twitter does sometimes. And it's going to be like, celebrate them, watch their prices kind of go up as they grow as players over time, which is cool.
Yeah, I know. I did think it was a little fishy. Halliburton missed the game the other night. Yet he's doing all these Top Shot streams. You know, I think he called in sick maybe just to rip open some packs, I think is the theory.
We're not mad about it.
No, yeah. I mean, we've all found our new hobbies, and sometimes we got to ditch the day job to pursue Top Shots. I mean, it's very relatable. Let's see here, Pete. What else is going on? Do you have any all-star takes, guys that you think could be on the rise here? Do you like the Jordan Clarkson call for sixth man, or do you got another candidate?
No, I think Clarkson's for sure. And I actually want to ask Katie, have you had McCollum's wine yet? Are you a wine person?
I have not. I'm not only a wine person, I'm a Pinot Noir person, and I'm an Oregon wine person, and I'm a CJ McCollum person, and I have not tried it yet. I know. I
know you're busy. I know Top Shot's blowing up, but come on. I mean, this seems like the perfect combination of things for you. I mean, it's got your name written all over it.
Just like pop a bottle, watch a Blazers game. It sounds like a really nice evening.
Why not? Why don't we get some McCollum wine and have that be kind of the sponsor for Club Top Shot? Maybe we can have some of his wine in the club. That seems like a good idea if you'd be interested in coming to the club.
Very interested.
All right, Katie, I hope you don't mind. I am changing your name on here. You are now Katie, CJ McCollum's #1 wine stan.
I didn't know you had the power to do that. That's scary power for
that is some strong power. Look at that mischievous grin he's got in his face.
Yeah, you should have reminded me, Jack. There you go. All right. Yeah. If you guys are just tuning in now, welcome to the Pack Drop stream. The three of us here are Club Top Shot. We do lots of video shows and podcasts about Top Shot. We got Jacob Eisenberg and Katie here from Top Shot. We're taking questions, talking hoops. We'll be here throughout the afternoon, your tour guide through the cosmics, as I am now saying, as we all wait in this line to get the pack drop. So thank you guys for hanging with us. I did finish my mimosa. I might have to go get a refill here in a second.
Yeah, go.
Cheers. Can we talk about the Suns? Let's talk about the Suns and Chris Paul. I mean, Jack and I are both huge Suns fans. That was actually, in the betting world, that was my one future was the Suns over. Loved the team. I thought the Jay Crowder edition was underrated. Obviously, Devin Booker played incredible in the bubble. And Chris Paul, I mean, I think one of the most underrated players of all time. Definitely a top, 3-5 point guard all time. And showing it again at his age 35, just doing everything right. What do we think about their chances? Because, the West, obviously you got the LA teams. You have Utah playing the best ball now. I'm a Denver guy, so I still think the Nuggets have a high ceiling, even though they've really underperformed. But the Suns are kind of a dark horse team with some young players. What are your guys' thoughts on the Suns and maybe even related to Top Shot? I mean, Booker's got some really nice moments. I'm a huge believer in Chris Paul, which I think he's got some of the most undervalued moments right now. Kick it to you guys. What do we think about the Suns?
Yeah, I'm a huge believer in them. I mean, I think they're probably another year away, just as Aiden continues to mature, as Booker continues to mature. I'll be frank and say that I think they're past the previous two draft classes when they got Mikal and then they got Cam Johnson. I thought they hit home runs back-to-back years, and they seemingly went away from that this year. I think Jalen Smith has upside and has potential to be very good, but they had Halliburton on the board, and unlike going back to the well of lengthy, good defenders who have great shots, they went to kind of a big man that, it's less clear where he fits into their rotation. If they believe in Aiden and, they like Cam Johnson and Bridges as kind of the peskier, lengthier wings on the team. I think when you talk about Chris Paul, Pete, you're absolutely right. Like, it became crystal clear to me last year at the All-Star game when it was pretty evident that the team was totally deferring to him as kind of the maestro on the court. And, he was 35. And I think he was a little bit slept on. Certainly, when he was getting traded from Houston, people had a kind of misunderstanding about what he could still do. And I think he's proving that he's going to age, well into his late 30s as, still one of the smartest players on the court, very aggressive, very tough, and, a little bit like great defender and a little bit like Jason Kidd, strong, right? So it's not like he's just going to get bowled over. He might be able to kind of defend up a little bit as he might slow down. He'll bulk up potentially and be able to kind of hang in the post. I'm not suggesting that you can guard Nikola Jokic with him, but I think, against a lot of, as the league continues to get a little smaller, he'll be able to hold his own against a lot of kind of these bigger wings that are going to kind of go face to face with the Suns in the playoffs over the years.
I think he's super undervalued as well, like future Hall of Famer. I think even like Melo is super undervalued. I think we have, anybody who knows basketball can look through some of those players that are nearing the end of their careers and be like, they're going to be Hall of Famers. And that's going to be something that makes this really interesting in the future. I just don't think the Suns, like the Western Conference is so strong. Like it's just, I don't know how they could possibly beat some of those teams in the Western Conference that are just like have more experience in the postseason as a team, and some of those things that are like, it's not just the individuals on the court, it's like how that package works together and if they have the confidence to get there, because we've seen a lot of great teams not have the confidence to get there.
Yeah, I'm the biggest CP3 stan in the world, and I like the young Suns team, but I picked them to, I think I might have picked them to almost miss the playoffs, 7 or 8 seed. I just, like you said, Katie, the West is so stacked. It's like the same thing we talk about with all-star snubs. Like there's so many talented players in the league. You have to replace them if you say someone got snubbed. Same thing in the West. Like the Warriors might miss the playoffs. The Suns, I thought, might miss the playoffs. And the Mavs are now potentially missing the playoffs. It's crazy, but you can see with Pete's chart here, CP3, one of the 3 locks to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, this was, I am notoriously a bit fraudulent in my NBA fandom credentials. I've been diving in the past month. I've been exposed on a few recent streams. But one thing that helped kind of anchor me as I was starting to navigate the Top Shot marketplace was just going to this chart. Who are the players that we know long-term, their resumes are unquestioned, and they're going to be future Hall of Famers. So I've enjoyed looking.
Steph's a lock too. Steph should be number 2. I think the list should go LeBron, Durant, Steph, Paul personally, but.
All right, Pete. Well,
we're splitting hairs here. He's 0.99, but it should be
the one on this list I want to talk about is Giannis at 18. I know he's young. I know he hasn't been to a finals yet.
2 MVPs.
2 MVPs at this point, and you have players like Kevin Love who are great, but is the ring that he was the 3rd best player on the team necessary? So I think that's pretty interesting. I also agree, like the fact that Steph, Harden, and Russ aren't like 100% kind of shocks me.
Well, so what I would say here is that we have to look at their age, right? Giannis is certainly a lot younger than Kevin Love. Kevin Love's had more years, racked up more cumulative points and rebounds for sure. But rather than kind of pick them apart, I would rather us celebrate all of the top 20. I see LaMarcus Aldridge's name.
Yeah.
Like if you have a 50% chance at making the Hall of Fame, even 30% chance, and I would say that certainly just looking at that list, Draymond Green, I think.
I would buy Draymond Green.
All of these players have totally changed the game, and just I'm so excited about even like a LaMarcus Aldridge right now, who is in San Antonio, not necessarily the hottest team in the league. I think LaMarcus is going to have a situation maybe similar to Marc Gasol, where they leave a place that they're in and they go to a contender, maybe not this year, maybe next year, and they have a real like presence on a championship contender again. I think it's a matter of time, and Aldridge certainly showed it in the playoffs back with Portland that he has the capability of rising to the occasion.
Can we talk about fandom? Because I think that's great that you brought it up, that like not everybody came into this product or this game, however you want to describe it, as like a huge NBA fan. If people are kind of just getting started and don't have a team, pick a team. You don't have to stick with them. Just pick a team, watch a few games, decide what teams you hate. That's a big part of it as well. And like, that's the best place to get started. Like just watch a couple games and be like, I don't know, I'm not clicking with this team, or like, I love, that these guys are small and they keep losing, but they're really trying. Like, there's lots of ways to look at fandom, and you don't have to come into this product as like the biggest NBA fan, but you're going to be better at Top Shot if you have some fandom and you have some idea of what's going on in the league. So totally recommend the Trailblazers. They're a really great team. They have some really great players. One of them has a good wine from what I understand.
Yeah, I think that is for me, the paradigm shift initially from kind of traditional fandom to appreciating players across the league was when I started playing fantasy football and fantasy sports. And I went from, rooting for the Nuggets and the Broncos to rooting for guys on my fantasy team. And now that I'm back in the NBA streets, I find myself doing the same thing. I'm pulling up Jokic streams because I want to see how he's doing. The guys that, I get their moments, I want to go check in on them. And I kind of like that concept of what I would call liberated fandom, of being like, there's, say my in-laws who only watch the Celtics, they don't know anything about the other players in the league. They just know this. And I'm like, well, I enjoy, there's so many good storylines. The tapestry of the NBA is so rich that it's fun to be able to jump around and appreciate all of these fun storylines.
Yeah,
I really recommend picking a team. I really recommend picking a team you hate too, because it makes it really fun.
Wow.
I've never once in fantasy football drafted anyone on the Eagles. I just can't do it. No offense to Eagles fans. Well, actually, high offense to Eagles fans. Behind a dumpster. But like, it really does change the dynamic when you're like, I like these guys, but I hate these guys.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting now because the NBA might not have a super team, right? Like there's certainly the Lakers, the Clippers. There are teams that people.
There's so many super teams.
There are so many super
Knicks.
teams, but by the same, the Knicks, of course, 1 game out of the 4 seed right now, home court advantage. Here we come. But when we're talking about like historically over the last decade, from the Heat to the Warriors, there was always kind of that common enemy, and now it's a sort of open world where. I think eventually we're going to have another common enemy again, but this has been a really interesting, 2 years of parity at kind of its finest, where I think a lot of fans would say that the Lakers are the prohibitive favorites, but I don't think that there's many fans that would say they have a greater than 50% chance of winning it all, which is.
I love your Knicks fandom that you're completely forgetting about the smaller brother in the state. Shout out to the chat. Brooklyn is probably the closest thing to the super team, but they're probably the most likable super team that we've ever had, right? Like they look like they're having so much fun over there in Brooklyn. So I did, Caty, take your advice. Obviously, we do not support Kevin Durant and the Nets, but it's tough to hate him. He's so good and coming off the injury. So I picked up some KDs, and you're right. It softens the blow a little when you see Kevin Durant moments go up on the marketplace.
Pete, I'm playing my usual internal drinking game where when you say the word generational, I take a drink. I mean, can I get a generational from Pete? Who's the most generational player? Right?
But I think we were just having a discussion about why all of this is so powerful and why there's so much value being created, which is great for everyone. You start talking about how you're engaging with the platform and what fantasy football did for the NFL and how it created so much value. Top Shot is creating so much value for the NBA. It's a new level of engagement that everyone's involved with. So it's good for the NBA, it's good for Top Shot, and indirectly now it's good for all the collectors and the people that are into this. So, I personally, obviously, am biased because I love sports, but I think sports content is the most valuable content in the world. And I think what Top Shot has done for the NBA and what it's going to do for the NBA is it's off the charts. The value being created is incredible. And now the other thing that we haven't really seen, and I think that fantasy football kind of actually has a negative element to, is the connection with the players and the fans. And in fantasy football, the most common connection is like, oh, you suck today. Why? That's the classic one, is people love to complain to the players, which I always just hate. But now, like, the connection with the fans and the players is amazing. Like Josh Hart, obviously a great player and stuff, but like, the average NBA fan is looking at LeBron, Kevin Durant, all this stuff. Now people are obsessed with Top Shot, see him coming on, and there's that immediate connection. Halliburton, who I think is super underrated and like such a smart guy, and I really think he does have a chance to be Rookie of the Year still. Like the fact that he's in on this, like it's going to create this whole new level of engagement. So it's good for everybody. Like it's truly like a win, which is like, it's hard to find those in life, but when you do, I mean, this guy's the one. So.
And it's fun. It feels, I guess, overly sentimental, to say, but still at the end of the day, it's people's emotional connection with players. Like if you were in an NBA game, I remember as a kid and having like Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf come and like give me a high five as he went to the thing, like he became one of my favorite players, even though he wasn't, let's say, Mutombo or like the main star. It's same now, like sure, LeBron, Kevin Durant, those are the studs. But if you interact with Damian Lee or Josh Hart on here, they're going to become your favorite players. Like I've already seen that. Our guy MBL 267, big top shot OG. He's like, I'm a Knicks man and Damian Lee's now my favorite player. Like you just can't help but love these guys because you feel it's like the one of us. They're one of us in here doing Top Shot. And I think that's a really cool dynamic.
Oh, it's the best. I mean, I can't say that. Just like the more this evolves, the more there's just all these positive things happening, and it's good for everybody. And that's, when you start seeing ideas and things blossom, normally you can pick it apart and say, oh, it's bad for this person, or, you have to watch out for this. Like all of this is just so organic and everybody's winning. And it's just so cool, which is why all the players are getting involved, why the engagement continues to grow. And it just obviously I'm biased, but it's just the future to me.
So as we get kind of closer to maybe the trade deadline in the NBA, we might have a prohibitive favorite in the East. Jack mentions Brooklyn. I still am pretty high on Philly. I think that the East is going to have a problem trying to defend Embiid in the playoffs. But I think, needless to say, Daryl Morey is kind of one of the expert traders in the league. And when we look at kind of who might be available, I'll turn it over to Pete or Jack. Like, who do you guys think would be a good pickup for a team that might be a piece away from really solidifying themselves as a real contender?
Yeah, and I'm just going to jump in here, and I'm going to actually hand this one over to Jack as well.
I'm going to slide this one to Pete because I think I'll have good insight here.
We're doing a 3-man weave with this question.
Yeah.
Nice basketball reference.
Thank you.
A winning player who does all the small things that you need, that is definitely gettable at this point in time. And I think he'd be a really good fit on Philly, actually. Or I think the Lakers would benefit the most from getting this player. But PJ Tucker is a player that is not a star player by any means, not someone that the casual fan is going to say, "Oh, that guy's really valuable," but does all the small things well. Is super versatile on defense, which is why the Rockets really made a run. I mean, that Warriors super team legitimately could have lost that Rockets team if Chris Paul doesn't hurt his hamstring. And PJ Tucker is guarding 1 through 5, and he does everything that you want in like a role player. Great shooter from the corner, unbelievable actual stash shooting from the corner, great defender, like I mentioned, does all the teamwork stuff well. And like, that's a guy you can go out and get without giving up a ton of assets to. So he's someone that I think is really interesting. You can start, putting on your cap for some other trades. Like, I wouldn't be surprised to see like a John Collins maybe shipped, but I don't know if he's like someone that helps you win right now. So it's
really
kind of figure out those guys that have, a lot of value. And I do think Philly is a really good candidate. We'll have to get Daryl Morey on here. He's played a lot of poker with us, obviously run the Sloan Sports Conference. He's great. So we got to get Cuban and Morey are my guys to get into the
Peter Jennings lives a privileged life where he's kind of like, yeah, we should get one of my poker buddies on here. Oh yeah, it's Daryl Morey.
Speaking of Daryl, that would probably be my player, Kyle Lowry. He's said he would like to go home to Philly. And I think Ben has been awesome.
Good fit.
Yeah, Ben's been awesome this year, but we know Ben can kind of play off the ball to a degree. And just, he'll lock up Kate. All right, lock up Katie is probably a stretch, but he's going to throw the best body at the top wings in the game, or really 1 through 5. So taking him off the ball could be super beneficial to him as well. So Lowry on that team could be interesting. Jacob, you posed the question. Who would your fun trade deadline be?
Well, so for Philly in particular, there are a couple names that stand out to me. Lou Williams, for example. Obviously drafted by Philly, started his career there.
Yeah.
I think Philly kind of could use that closer, right? And Lou Williams has been one of the best kind of ISO creators for years. So that might be an interesting play. Going back to Pete's mentioning of PJ Tucker, I would have loved to be a fly on the wall in the conversations between the Nets and the Rockets, because I was kind of astounded that they weren't able to get PJ into that trade. Texas alum, obviously has a close connection with Kevin Durant, and he would have been a perfect fit for what they're trying to do. So, when you're going all in as they did, Jared Allen, Karis LeVert, X number of first rounders, pick swaps, the whole kitchen sink, I would have been curious to see. Trey, what's going on, man?
Trey?
What's up? Sorry, I'm hearing you on the live stream and also watching in the StreamYard. I'm going insane over here. I heard you talking PJ Tucker and wearing jerseys. I had to drop everything I was doing.
Yeah, what do you got on PJ Tucker, Trey?
BJ, he could be a game changer, am I right? At the trade deadline, a versatile guy. He's going to play hard. He's going to make those corner threes. Certainly a mover, but Jack, come on, man. Kyle Lowry doesn't want to lead the Raptors? Trying to get him out of Toronto? They're playing well right now, man.
I know. People were saying it's fake news in the chat. I might have felt accustomed to some fake news there, but I think it does make sense. I mean, only because he's probably the most legendary Raptor, which is a crazy thing to say, but I think it's probably accurate. And to see him leave when he's been there for a large portion of his career would be a lot. But he did play at Nova, so there is at least that connection. And with some older point guards, people try and jump the ship, but we see what happens with the Rockets. They tried jumping ship on CP3 because they thought older point guard deteriorating, and that man has only balled out since. So we'll see.
Yeah, no doubt. If Lowry says, I got to go get another title somewhere, Philly seems like it would be the place. And if he does say he wants to be traded, that's a guy that could certainly swing the title. He can play with anybody. He can play off ball. He can play on ball, hit the threes, play defense, raises every team's ceiling and their floor. So, yeah, if Lowry actually says, get me out of here, that'll be crazy. Be crazy for Raptors fans, and it'll be crazy in the NBA, too.
Let me do a proper introduction for Trey Kirby. I know many of you know him from the No Dunks crew, but if not, No Dunks over there, J.E. Skeets, we got Tass Mellis, Lee Ellis, JD, all the guys doing great stuff. If you guys want to follow the NBA, so much great content over there. And also he was in the club last night.
Hey.
And look at this side by side, the big Chaz energy out of Trey Kirby. It's almost a dead ringer like you were going for that, Trey.
I wish I could say I was, but, that's just a fortunate happenstance. No doubt about it. I was dying when I saw this.
Did you go? You were saying you were going to go fishing today. Did you end up getting your fishing in?
Didn't get my fishing in today. I had to tap into the drop, and then I've just been working in the garden ever since, getting that sweat equity in my Carhartt hat. It's finally getting dirty. So, it's finally becoming legit. But I couldn't be too far away from the house. I got to keep an eye on the boys, got to keep an eye on the stream, got to keep an eye on my number in the line. Come on, I can't be out on the boat today.
What a great Saturday you just described. That's, they talk about the American dream, the white picket fence. I think it's toiling away in your garden, taking care of your children, and keeping an eye on the pack drop. That's what it's all about now.
That's 100% right. I got my 6-year-old. She's like, are they releasing some new ones? I'm like, oh yeah, they are. Just wait. Just wait for March 6th, baby. We're going to be chanting for a Jimmy Butler all over again.
So the line is flying, by the way.
2 notes. Yeah, I was just about to say. So we have accelerated the line. So your place in the queue will quickly look a lot more promising if you're deep in there. And then secondly, just to kind of clarify Trey's point, we're committing to an update on March 6th or by March 6th about these packs, but we're anticipating about a 2-week delivery. So that might come the week after. Certainly, we have a lot of great stuff planned for this upcoming week, which you'll just have to stay tuned for because I don't have sign off to share quite yet. But we're really excited about getting these packs into the hands of collectors. We know that there's a ton of excitement and appetite for a lot of first-time collectors to get their hands on their first pack. But we're gonna try to under-promise and over-deliver. So let's anticipate maybe closer to a March 15th target.
That's right, Trey. I feel like you might overpromise, underdeliver with those guitars hanging in the background. I think it's like Chekhov's gun. Like if there's an acoustic guitar in the background of a stream, like at some point in the stream, you do have to see someone play that guitar.
Oh, guaranteed these are out of tune. I don't know if they've been taken off the wall in 2021, but I could probably play you a terrible version of Neil Young's Heart of Gold if you want to hear that.
There you go.
Might hurt with your copyright infringement, though I imagine it'll be so bad that it will go completely unnoticed.
That's right. Yeah. We did famously the other night get our video delisted in North Korea, Cuba, and Iran, I believe. So yeah, I got to be careful what I pull up on stream these days.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough out there.
Jack, are you sharing your screen here? Is this an accident?
I'm showing the people how close I am to the front of the line. I was just at 4,000 like 4 minutes ago. Oh, there we go.
You just jumped.
2630. Look at that.
Okay.
Look at that.
Right.
I do have another funny thing to share that just shows how fast the community likes to move on some stuff. Let's see if I can pull this up. We now have a special edition No Funny Business Club Top Shot available on Open Creative, which just speaks to the engagement of the community. I mean, we got the Katie GIF up. We got this up. Available for purchase. Whoever created this, please DM me. I would love to make a buy. But I'm headed towards the top of the line. I'm excited.
So we have
TK,
about
did you
100.
get in line?
Sorry, go ahead, Trey.
Oh yeah, what am I? I'm 33,801 right now. So I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Come in and check, go out onto the deck, try and rip a fig tree out of a pot, throw it in another one, come back, check on my number, see what other tree I can move to another pot.
So we've got about,
what were you saying?
We've got about 150,000 collectors in the queue right now.
Wow.
There's still about maybe 2 hours or so to get in. And if you get into the queue before that at 5 p.m. Eastern time deadline, you're going to be able to guarantee yourself the chance at a pack. With that being said, this is one pack per collector. We are going to vet every single collector before we distribute the packs. So anyone trying to abuse this using multiple accounts, they are subject to discipline, pack confiscations, banned. We'll look at the severity of it. Trey, I'd love to kind of hear from a Bulls fan about kind of the excitement around Zach LaVine making his first All-Star team and kind of where do the Bulls go from here? Because clearly they have some promising young pieces, but might not yet be a real contender. So I'd be curious to hear what your path to kind of getting the Bulls back to the top of the East might look like.
Well, Jacob, I like to say that the Bulls are back. But unfortunately, with the loss last night, they could not actually get back to 500, which would be a huge step. If they would have been able to pull that one off against the Suns, it would have been the first time they were 500 in seasons at this point. For me, making the play-in tournament is the goal right now. Making the playoffs would be huge, getting top 6 or better. I think that would be big, but something 7 through 10, I'm going to be thrilled with after the way the past couple of seasons have gone. I know they've had 2 3-game win streaks this season, which is more than the previous 2 seasons combined. So we're at least trending the right way. But the team is better. Like Zach LaVine is an incredible scorer right now. He's one of the top 10 guys in the league in scoring. He's a bucket every single night, completely unstoppable. And he's really been unlocked playing under Billy Donovan, playing alongside Thad Young, a guy who was completely misused last season. Now the Bulls know what they're doing. He's creating for Zach Young. Kobe White, I would like to see take another step, but this to me feels like what should have been happening last season. We're a year behind on the rebuild probably, but at least it's going the right way this year. If they can figure out a way to get to 6th, that'll be incredible. They've had a couple of tough stretches this season. They lost 4 straight games to the best teams in the league earlier this year by a total of 11 points. That hurts your record, definitely, but in the Eastern Conference, you're always going to be in contention to at least make the playoffs. So it's a brutal schedule in the second half here. They just released it, but that's the case for everybody. So I'm staying optimistic in 2021.
Oh, my turn has started. Here we
go.
Let's see how this goes. I'm excited.
So when we look at
I hit yes, start turn, and then I just wait, Jacob, I guess. That's how it
just
works.
wait it out. Just trust the process.
Right.
So
I'm gonna be chilling. Oh, here we go.
Are you up, Jeff?
I am up. I am able to click reserve a pack, and I'll keep everyone updated on how that goes. But that was pretty quick, actually, the turnover time. And I'm already in Dapper. And I have Pete's credit card in here.
I do. Jack, that was an emergency credit card if you needed to order pizza with the babysitter when I left you at home. That it's not for Top Shot moments.
I would not recommend using a different collector's credit card as it will hurt your
You may have a problem.
You might have a problem. Just kind of going back to the Bulls for a quick second, Trey. I think we're seeing something similar to what Arturas is doing with Chicago to maybe what Masai did in Toronto, where, pretty patient about kind of analyzing what the roster looks like and kind of carving out the path forward. Certainly, I think there were some Bulls fans that were underwhelmed with kind of what happened in the offseason. That is not much besides drafting Patrick Williams. As a fan, are you appreciative of this kind of patient approach? You know, it's sort of a departure maybe from the Garpax era.
It's definitely a departure from the Garpax era, which is why everybody is kind of okay to let this year go slowly, because it's turned out okay the way things are happening. You know, it was kind of in the summer, the big issue was, wow, I can't believe the Bulls gave up on Chris Dunn and kept Denzel Valentine. Like, those are the levels of moves we're talking about with the Bulls. Turned out keeping Denzel Valentine, the completely right move. They brought in Billy Donovan, another huge change. So the question is going to be coming to the trade deadline here in about a month. There's all these teams in the Eastern Conference from 4 to 11, maybe even 12, that are all within 2 or 3 games. Yeah, we're going to see Bulls Knicks sometime in the playoffs. It might be the 9 versus 10 game, but that'll be like the Eastern Conference 1992 finals, if you ask me. But it's going to be who is the buyers and who's the sellers here. Who's actually going to be trading and thinking we can make a run to try and get into the playoffs? I hope that's the Bulls, because like you're saying, Karnisovas didn't really do much in the last off season. So now would be a time to really put his stamp on the team and say, yeah, I think we've got a pretty solid team here. Let's see if we can take the next step and actually show some progress here. Because if they miss out on the play-in tournament, you're in the same spot you were last year, despite having a more impressive season.
Pete, if you will put my screen up while we have Jacob here. So I think this is important to kind of showcase. So it says, my order was placed. Congratulations on your pre-order. It does say order status failed, but I did get an email. So I feel confident that everything went swimmingly, and that's just a slight bug right now.
Probably just a slight bug. If you got an email confirming that your order went through, you should be okay.
Right. Anytime I've ever gotten an email from Dapper that something is processed successfully or something has failed, it has been 100% accurate. So that's why once I got the email, I just wanted to show there's probably some other people out there who are seeing that and are freaking out and are tweeting away. But I feel confident I will end up with a pack.
Just to let people know our schedule here too, we won't unfortunately be able to be here through the duration of the drop. We got a little less than an hour left. I do have plans with physical people in my life that I need to see, and I need to get pulled away from the internet. So that's the deal. But we have had a blast hanging here, and I'm sure if Jacob and co want to have us back, we'd be happy to do it again in the future.
Throw me up on the screen real quick, because I do want to just show that our suspicion is correct. Pre-order is now in my account, so everything worked perfectly. Well done. That's exciting.
There you go. And I should just let you know, I've been talking with Benny over at Top Shot. There still will be a stream going on the top. I don't know what the content will be, but they will hold it down for you guys here. And for those of you guys who are new and want to check out Club Top Shot, we got the podcast in iTunes. We got the shows on my YouTube channel over here, youtube.com/Peter Overzet. And we hope to catch you guys in the club. Lots of fun stuff on tap. Like I said, we had Trey last night. Trey, what was your first experience like in the club?
I was loving the club. I was loving the Luka Doncic hours. I was loving the Luke Cornett hours. It was all gravy to me. Talking Top Shot with the boys. Come on, what's better than this?
There you go, man. I know that's one of my favorite things, is just seeing how obsessed you have gotten with Top Shot. It's really been fun to watch.
Well, I was stoked to see Fred VanVleet getting on the train earlier. You know, Fred VanVleet, he's massive in the community. He's massive in the NBA. And he's getting better and better. I love to support him because he's a Raptor. He's from Illinois. It checks all the boxes for me now that he's in Top Shot. What a legend.
That's what and the word on the street is you and Skeets got your eyes on some Fred VanVleet moments here coming up.
Oh, no doubt about it. We're going fractional, baby. I tweeted about it last night, and somebody said going fractional is the new going Dutch. So I'm 100% in. We're not paying for ourselves anymore. We're going fractional.
When I had brought up with Scal, I was biased, and I thought VanVleet got snubbed for the All-Star game. Am I being a biased, irrational homer, or did he have a case?
Both. Yeah, Fred VanVleet definitely had a case. You know, the Raptors struggled out of the gate. I think they were 2-8 in their first 10 games, but they're also playing in a totally different country. They were thrown off. But there were so many guys that had Eastern Conference All-Star cases, like Domantas Sabonis averaged a triple-double for the first 2 weeks of the season, so he's got a good case. None of these teams are very good that are getting the All-Stars or the All-Star replacements. So, yeah, if you have a well-timed couple of weeks right before replacement time, like if Fred VanVleet would have averaged a triple-double for the 2 weeks heading up to yesterday, he probably would have been the guy. He had a case, but you are being a homer, but that's how it is with All-Star cases.
That's what happened. I mean, the guy dropped 50 in a game
The guy
this
dropped
year.
50.
Come on. How is he the only guy in the NBA to have dropped 50 so far this year?
Not even close. Somebody drops 50 like every 3 nights in the NBA at this point.
I knew I was due for one gaff. I had made it 2 hours into this stream, and I was bound to have one.
Yeah, it's not 1976 anymore. There's not one guy who can score 50 points in the NBA.
The Tony Delk, so to speak.
That's right. We just had Jamal Murray, 60? Right? Scored 50 without any free throws, I think, the first time ever. Has anybody scored 60? Somebody got 60 this year.
Steph had
Brad
62.
Beal did.
Steph as well, yeah.
That's right.
There you go. Any 60 burgers? Okay. Beal?
I wanted to circle back real quick on the trade deadline, because I do think that that's something that's going to be fun. The trade deadline could create a lot of value. The first big moment I bought was Harden right when he got traded to the Nets. The trade deadline is interesting, and then in the playoffs too, which we could talk about. The playoffs is when the marketplace is going to go nuts. I mean, the performances in the playoffs are certainly going to alter the values in the marketplace. But that's one guy. I think Lowry is. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think Bradley Beal either is going to get traded either. But he's probably the best superstar to move around because he could play anywhere. Like I think if I had to pick a couple players that would fit on any team, Kevin Durant would certainly be at the top of the list. I think Bradley Beal fits with any team. If he were to move, that would really swing things around. But I don't think it's that likely. Do you guys have any sense on Bradley Beal? Do you think he could possibly move, or do you think it's just not going to happen?
They're playing good basketball, and I'm actually curious in the same vein, Trey, is Zach LaVine now off of – because everyone was like, get Zach out of Chicago, and then they start playing really well. Like, are both of those names, it feels like they're – now the teams are more settled, playing better, and they're kind of going to stick there?
That's kind of what I think right now. Both the Bulls and Wizards have, they started really poorly, especially the Wizards, but they've definitely turned it on as they kind of gotten used to playing with their teams a little bit more. But we still got, almost a month until the trade deadline. A lot can happen in the Eastern Conference. Yeah. If you go 0-8 for 2 weeks, suddenly you're sort of out of the mix, and maybe that changes the equation a little bit. But all the buzz with Beal right now is that he wants to stay in Washington. Kind of crazy to me, but at least he's being a loyal guy there. So I think he's happy where he's at. It feels like Zach LaVine is happy with the Bulls for the first time since he's been traded there for Jimmy Butler. So yeah, if those guys are sticking, you're looking for definitely smaller names who are going to be available. Andre Drummond is a guy who's going to be on the trade block. He already is. JaVale McGee, I imagine, will as well. These aren't necessarily title swinging guys, but they're certainly going to be moving teams. It feels like maybe LaMarcus Aldridge, maybe Al Horford is a guy I think can kind of fit anywhere. He's got a humongous contract, but he's also an experienced veteran who's played in a ton of playoff games. Surely somebody would be interested in him as well, but I don't know. To me, Beal and LaVine seem like they're staying put, but we'll see what's happening once we actually get closer, see who's buying and selling.
The name that's kind of made waves in the last week or so, and Mark Cuban has flatly denied it, but Kristaps Porzingis, right? Of course, we're not too far out from when his initial trade really shocked the entire NBA from the Knicks to the Mavs. So I would be curious to see what that market looks like if Dallas does decide to punt on this season and wants to kind of better equip Luka with maybe more durable players or players that might be able to grow with Luka in a slightly different vein. Like, I'd be curious if Kristaps at this point is considered a valuable contract or a valuable asset, given he has a very long-term contract that's quite expensive, but he still has kind of this unicorn 3-and-D potential. I think this year his defensive numbers have dropped off quite a bit, but I think people underestimate just how hard it is for someone that's 7'3" to come back kind of overnight and return to form. And I'd bet on that guy, having watched him for years as a Knicks fan. I think that what he can do on the defensive end in particular, if he's right and healthy, really does kind of change everything for a team, because he is he's got enough length to catch up. And I think the numbers this year do not bear out what his defensive capabilities could be when he returns to full health.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the Mavericks would be foolish to let him go at this point, kind of at a lower value. Their whole thesis and what they should be doing is who fits the best with Luka. And I do think Porzingis is a really natural fit. I know he hasn't played well this year, but we've seen this so many times. Guys get injured. Season they come back, they're not the same. It's the next season after the season they come back where they kind of regain their previous form. So to me, if I'm Dallas, I would not be trying to sell on Porzingis now because, I would be interested to see what value you'd get from him given he does have a really big contract. I would try to make the bet that you can get him healthy. And I do think long-term he fits really well because Luka, one of the most dynamic special players in history offensively. I mean, I know it's early in his career, but you look what he did in Europe. The guy is just, dare I say, generational. He is so special offensively, but defensively, he's going to be a liability. And that's just going to continue to be the case, I think, going forward. He makes up for it a little bit with his rebounding. He's an elite rebounder for his position, which is kind of how he plays defense. You'll see him sag off and kind of crash the glass, which is good. He's not going to be able to guard well. So you really need good defensive players around him. I thought Josh Richardson was a really good signing. He's played horrible this year, shot the three really badly, but in theory, he's a 3-and-D guy. Porzingis could be that if healthy. So I think they need to kind of let this play out personally, but would love to hear other people's opinion.
I think they're selling early if they trade Porzingis now because every other team is going to want to take a chance on him. A tall guy that can shoot threes. He's still young. He's coming off an injury. This is one of the worst times you could possibly be trading him. I do think maybe it doesn't work long term, Luka and Kristaps, but I'm willing to take the chance. Give it more than a couple of months, really.
Well, as a Knicks fan, I think Jack and I can both agree that we're kind of loving that the kind of narrative has changed. It's changed a bit on this trade where, we seemingly got hosed and, to be fair, if we scoured it, to be fair, we did. We could have scoured the market. I feel pretty confident to say that maybe someone like a Bam Adebayo or a De'Aaron Fox would have been a realistic target for Kristaps a few years ago. But with that being said, looking at the Knicks and the Mavs having similar records in the standings, it's been pretty wild to kind of see that we have a coherent product that we're putting on the table. And I think that's a big testament. And I'm going to eat a lot of crow on this because I was not super thrilled about the Tibbs hire. And I think he proved to be the perfect guy for the job at the time because he's establishing that defensive culture. And it seems that a lot of players, be it Julius Randle, who's been on, 3 teams in now 3 years, I think we're seeing a lot of guys really buy into this defense first mentality, and the Knicks defensive numbers have been, above average for most of the season. And while their offense still kind of has some catching up to do, I think that will happen over time as some of these players, develop some 3-pointers.
Yeah, Trey was talking about the Bulls having a chance to get to 500. The Knicks have another chance tonight, which would definitely be the latest they've been 500 in a very long time, which is exciting. The play-in, I don't even know. What are the details on the play-in tournament? Is it 7 and 8 have to win one of 2 games and 9 and 10 have to win, similar to, is that how they're doing it?
7 and 8 play. The winner of that game becomes the 7th seed. The loser of that game plays the winner of 9 versus 10. So 9 versus 10, you have to win twice. Gotcha. And if you're in 7 or 8, you have to lose twice to miss out on making the playoffs.
Gotcha. Okay, that's pretty interesting. But it is interesting that 7 has to play 8, right? And 9 gets to play 10, right? So that, it's cool. I think it's a cool format. And are they going to keep that for future years or it's just for this year?
They started it with the bubble. No Golden State Warriors in the bubble, but they did do the play-in tournament. So it went so well last year, and the chase to get into the play-in tournament went so well in the bubble season that they brought it back this year thinking, hey, we found something that actually worked, something they've been considering doing, but took a couple of risks, no doubt, with the bubble to see some new playoff formats. It worked out, and if it works out again this season, I don't see them going back. Why would they want to have fewer playoff games? Doesn't make sense.
Right.
Yeah, it's so good for the NBA too. Playing NBA DFS, everyone knows at the end of the year, it's just absolute mayhem with all these teams tanking, so many meaningless games. You see guys scratch left and right. With this format, the games are much more relevant for many more teams. So I think it makes a lot of sense. I do want to bring up one other guy that I think is relevant for the trade deadline that relates perfectly to Top Shot, and I'm actually curious to hear when he might have a moment. I don't believe JJ Redick has a moment, but that's a perfect player. I mean, back in Philly, I would love to see that. I mean, he makes so much sense on basically any team because of the elite shooting, smarts. I think he actually is an underrated defender, maybe falling off a little bit in his advanced years. But that was really the knock on him initially, but played some pretty smart defense there for stretches, especially on that Philly team. So JJ Redick endorsing Top Shot, which we love to see. Hopefully we'll have a moment soon. He's a good trade deadline candidate. And he's someone who's in the NBA media and doing stuff off the court, which I think is an underrated thing to look at when you're evaluating Top Shot moments and players to invest in. So what are your guys' thoughts on JJ Redick? Where do you think he should go? And as an investment for Top Shot, when and if he has a moment, what do you guys think about him as a value?
The moment I want is him kind of, just making the most casual, low-key cameo on Josh Hart's Twitch stream the other day. That's the one I want. Jack, Trey, what's the iconic Redick moment we need?
The one really, really, really interesting angle on JJ, and I think the market in general, is going to be the college angle. And you see these fan bases, the Kentuckys, Dukes, UNCs, if UCLA gets back to where they were, I think they're going to pull hard for their guys. I mean, that's what carried Tyler Hero a lot in his rookie year, was that Kentucky base. So for a guy who's definitely headed towards the end of his career, what will hold his legacy up is that Duke fan base, because he's kind of bounced from team to team. Like, if you could nail down a team for JJ Redick, who would you say where would he retire essentially? I liked him on the Clippers when I was rooting for CP3, but there's not really a team. So with him, that's pretty interesting. But in terms of where he would be headed, I mean, the Lakers, I don't think they make a move for him. The Clippers, I don't think there's a clear-cut favorite. I could be wrong. Trey, what do you think?
I think he said that when and if he's traded, he wants to be somewhere in the Northeast. His family lives in Brooklyn. He wants to be closer to there. So he says, I would be interested in the 76ers, the Nets, and the Celtics. All good teams. All could use another guy who can shoot and at least knows where to be on defense. Maybe he doesn't move quite as well as he did when he was a younger player, but he knows what to do. Same reason Kyle Korver continues to get contracts. You can trust him to make it and take an open three from the corner. But I'm also with you, Jack. Iconic teams for JJ Redick. I guess it's the Clippers in the NBA, but no doubt it's the Duke Blue Devils. The most despised player in college basketball throughout his career, but also one of the biggest badasses in college basketball throughout his whole career. You knew he was shooting it. You couldn't stop it. So, certainly the NCAA.
Is it Redick the most interesting use case for sports fan tribalism, where people hated him because of Duke, but then became one of the most likable personalities as a journeyman NBA player, where he's just a very likable, great dude, but people only hate him because of the laundry he was wearing on himself during college.
No Duke's the first guy doing podcasts and stuff too, and he's a very
early
smart guy. I mean, he hits on a wide range of topics, and I think that guys like that are going to have immense value long term. I mean, not to pump my bags, but Malcolm Brogdon is a guy that I think long term could be in politics. We were talking about CJ McCollum earlier, who I think is doing a lot of really thoughtful stuff off the court. Draymond Green, who we saw on that list as a Hall of Famer. I mean, he's basically a lock in my view. Just one of the smartest players, and he's so thoughtful. I mean, he's going on the All In podcast, which I think is one of the top podcasts out there. So I think the guys who are contributing a lot off the court will show immense value. And that's another thing that could be just so positive for the NBA, for Top Shot, for everything, is that there's additional value for being active off the court, which I think all these players are valuing more and more going forward.
And isn't that so much about kind of what this whole, the NFT movement, for people, the non-fungible tokens, it's the fact that these serial numbers represent a specific thing that you own. It's creators, and in this case, players, are able to participate in it in a way they've never been able to participate in it. They can be the facilitator between the collectible and the fan that really hasn't been possible other if you wait in the line to get your jersey signed by one of these guys. I just think it's cool, the opportunities these guys are going to have to be part of that experience.
There's a really big NFT artist. I wish I knew his name off the top of my head, but he sold a bunch of art recently, and then he's a former pitcher, so he's a bunch of rookie cards. So his stuff on eBay are being collected pretty heavily now, which is a similar concept to what we're discussing. And I'll give a shout out to Twitch chat. They said the magic for JJ Redick. I think that's good for early days from him.
I think the pitcher's name was Micah Johnson.
Yes.
Micah Johnson. Micah's great. He's been on Clubhouse, and I know Overzet doesn't like Clubhouse, but he's doing so many cool things and really thoughtful guy too. So yeah, this is a way for all these people not just to be known as players. And even LeBron was talking about that today. We need to get rid of. I mean, the players have done a good job, but the whole shut up and dribble thing needs to be just completely taken out. And these players are much more than just NBA guys. They're doing a bunch of really cool stuff off the court. And it's fun to see them investing in companies and just doing all sorts of good stuff for social change as well.
Trey, I know you got a dip here in a second. Those plants aren't going to water themselves. Tell us what do we got on tap for the Top Shot Hot Boys over at No Dunks here coming down the pipeline?
Well, we'll see. We got to get some packs. So maybe coming here in March, we'll be able to hop on a stream and get going. Skeets and I, but it's impossible to stay away from the game. So surely we'll figure something out in the next week. Obviously, we'll be doing our podcast talking about basketball almost exclusively Monday through Friday. Some other things thrown in as well. But the Hot Boys are never far away.
They are.
It's just a simple couple of clicks and suddenly you're streaming.
Yeah, no, it was like I mentioned to Trey that we are going to do another stream today, and he was like the Forrest Gump gif, just like running to talk Top Shot with us here. So
had to.
You had to do it. Well, Trey, we thank you for swinging by. Again, if you guys have not checked out No Dunks, I think the gold standard for NBA basketball content. So check them out on YouTube, iTunes, all of that good stuff over at The Athletic. So thank you, Trey, for joining us again.
Thanks for having me, y'all.
Peace out, Trey.
See you guys.
Trey. Pete, where are you in line? I
bought. It was when we were having
you're just gonna slide that. Oh, I got a pack. Jennings, did you hop in line?
Dude, is water wet? Of course.
Where are you? We didn't hear that.
I'm at the 50,000 range right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
that's what happens when you miss the club a couple times. You end up pretty deep in line.
So I got the same thing that Jack did, where it went through, the payment went, I got the email and everything. It does have the failed bug up there, but I feel pretty confident it went through, right, Jacob?
Yeah, just go to your pack, hit view my packs. It'll be there.
Yeah, go to collection.
I mean, it's literally yeah.
Right,
Jacob, what are you most excited for with Top Shot in 2021?
Yeah, I think I watched the club on, I believe it was Thursday when Alan got asked the same question, and we're pretty aligned on that. I think we're excited about continuing to experiment, and like we get it. The community is tired of us talking about beta, but like at the end of the day, like things like this pre-order are experiments that allow us to kind of carve a new path forward. So if this is a success, I'd imagine we'll be able to do these more often. I think like one of the biggest fair criticisms we've received is like, how do I get started if I'm a new collector and there are no packs to be had? We still are pretty dogmatic about keeping rares and legendaries super hard to get because that's kind of the name of the game. But when it comes to base set packs, common packs, we're going to continue to try to figure out ways to get them to the community so that first-time collectors can have that first taste of success. I think I'm also excited about Hardcourt whenever that does come out. That's probably months away from being kind of a reality, but that's going to change everything as far as the utility of these moments beyond just kind of trading in the marketplace. You're going to be able to kind of compete. And we know that our collectors are competitive. You can see that just looking at the Crypto Slam. You can see someone scouring the market trying to find a great moment that they think is undervalued and then, immediately, trying to flip it. And that's not necessarily every collector, but there we go. CJ McCollum.
So CJ McCollum liked my edit on Kitties here. We said over on the Club Top Shot Twitter account, he needs to tap in. CJ's loving it. There you go. We try not to pump too many bags on here, but we will pump CJ McCollum's wine on this show.
Wine hard. I mean, we will buy cases of the wine.
There you go. Well, CJ,
some bottle service. We'll have a sophisticated night, right? Like, drink some wine, maybe some cheese. It'll be good.
So
Do we
CJ,
own any CJ between the three of us on the platform?
you know what?
Well, hold on, Pete. Go back to that screen.
Yeah.
I own one.
Why aren't you following CJ? Come on, man.
This is criminal. God, why do you have to embarrass me like that? You couldn't have slid that into the DMs.
Overzet, I mean, jeez.
You know what's really bad? My cousin works in the front office for the Trailblazers. I need to be better. CJ, you are more than welcome in the club whenever you want. We only have about 25, 30 more minutes here. So I don't know if today is the day because we want to, make a meal of it if we get CJ on.
We gotta have wine, dude. We gotta have his wine.
We all get the wine delivered. A classy kind of wine bar night at the club, I think, is what we need to do.
We have to link up the schedules with Katy too. I mean, if Katie's not on,
Katy is. I mean, you can't be the number one wine stand and not be on this show. So she will be on it for sure. All right, CJ, shout out.
I went to CJ McCollum before. I think I have one moment. I need to double check, but I believe I do.
We gotta get more special CJ moments in there. I think he went on the jump earlier in the week and said that his dunk moment is not his proudest dunk, and I think we're excited about. That's Pete. I'll go back to that. I think one of the other things I'm most excited about is as we're able to scale up our team, as we're able to add these NBA junkies to the content side of the operation, we're going to continue to improve the moments that make it to the platform, right? So, I think we've received some feedback in the past of why did this player make the legendary set, right? Why is this guy a hollow icon, or why did this common moment make it if it's just a mid-range jumper? I think now that we have a little bit more bandwidth on our team, we can be a little bit more selective about the moments that are making the platform. So I'm really excited about kind of leveraging, especially for me as someone that works with our community kind of on the ground, I'm really excited about continuing to make hashtag NBA Top Shot this a thing and continuing to bring that kind of 360 loop of, any NBA Top Shot fan watching a basketball game, seeing an awesome play, tweeting at us, and us being able to bring that to the platform sooner rather than later.
It is fascinating how quickly people now are viewing the lens of highlights within the frame of Top Shot. Because it used to be Sports Center this, right? Top 10 this. Like that was it. Like I want to watch this in a top 10 countdown later. And now it's like I want a chance to own that moment. I think it's crazy how quickly, and it's a more fun way to engage with that, of being like, I can have a piece of that as opposed to just watching it. I think that's a fun shift we're seeing. And I enjoy seeing the stream of highlights getting NBA Top Shot this hashtags on my Twitter feed at night.
That's the genius of Top Shot, right? I mean, literally, I said it before, sports content, the most valuable content in the world. What's the best sports content? It's the highlights, and that's what Top Shot is. I mean, it's perfect. And McCollum specifically got a lot of love the wine, but man, this guy just completely broke my heart versus the Nuggets in 2019. Game 7, just absolutely obliterated the Nuggets. And yeah, in terms of his moments, I know it's not the sexiest thing. The analytics don't love it, but outside of maybe Chris Paul, who is like one of the most efficient, best mid-range players, McCollum is in you don't want many guys shooting mid-range jumpers, but McCollum, he is the king of mid-range. And
Kawhi Leonard would like a word, but yes, I do love CJ from the mid-range.
What about LaMarcus? LaMarcus, right? Just for a decade.
Him and DeRozan, right? Like they're in San Antonio.
And Rudy Gay, nonetheless. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have a real-time update from the team, PSA, so to speak. And it's been really
we don't use PSA.
No. It's like Sports Center alert.
PSA
Jacob.
makes people think of cardboard, and we don't think of cardboard on
That's true. Very fair. We're aware of the collectors who got order status failed, but it actually succeeded. Jack's case. Make sure you check your email and your collection after 5 minutes. The team's fixing the problem. If your payment has succeeded and you have a receipt, check your collection. Chances are that pack is in your collection and everything went through. It's just a bug that's giving the wrong information.
There you go. This was another question, Jacob, that just came in here. miss my turn, if we get back in line, can we purchase when it's our turn again? Or if you missed your turn, are you kind of screwed?
If you missed your turn, you can get back in line and you can attempt to purchase again. You're able to get back into the queue, but after you've made your first purchase, you're going to be unable to make a second purchase.
Yeah.
So in this case, Dragon Side, they should be okay.
Jacob, trust me, man. Trying to read handles sometimes it's a disaster. I feel like Will Ferrell in Anchorman, where you're just kind of like reading what's on the teleprompter, and then you're like, "What did I just say out loud?"
I'm Ron Burgundy.
So there you guys go. Glad to see people getting their reservations here. Can you, Jacob? I mean, Alan was kind of starting to tease some stuff the other night along the lines of stuff that might be happening with All-Star break, maybe a special series. Can you kind of give us a few more breadcrumbs on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're gonna maybe see our first non-traditional regular season NBA game moments. So you can probably put 2 and 2 together on what that looks like. Certainly, we've got a big event coming up for the NBA, and that is one of the kind of highlights of the season, so to speak, for NBA fans. So this is an opportunity for us to potentially bring the biggest moments of the season to Top Shot for the first time. So we're very excited about that.
That's exciting. That is exciting. Also, I've been seeing lots of chatter about Cool Cats. I believe that ends in about 2 days, right, Jacob? That challenge for this leg of it?
Yeah. We made a policy that if there's kind of a maintenance window or peer-to-peer marketplace transactions are kind of disabled for an elongated period of time, we'll especially within like the last 8 hours before that challenge expires, we might extend it. But I think every collector should go into these challenge deadlines over the next few days or even week with the anticipation that the timer will expire when it says it will expire. So more challenges coming soon. We're very excited. We've got our first Series 2 Metallic Gold challenge coming out very soon. That will feature an NBA player that has already kind of signed up for Top Shot and has gotten involved. So that's exciting as the challenge reward.
That's awesome. And yeah, and there's also been lots of questions about the CryptoKitty element. Can you maybe give some clarity around that for people who are confused?
Sure. So there's going to be that moment. This promotion started well before Top Shot went viral, and CryptoKitties, of course, is kind of the Trojan horse that allowed Top Shot to exist, right? So we have a community of very passionate CryptoKitty collectors, and one of our kind of attempts before we knew that it would go viral, we were trying to bring those collectors to Top Shot because we frankly thought the more collectors on Top Shot, the better. Pretty sound logic in general. And so we extended this promotional offer of if you sign up for Top Shot as a CryptoKitties collector back in early January, you're going to have the opportunity to get a CryptoKitties exclusive Cool Cats moment. And so ever since then, obviously that moment is going to be important to be able to complete the master challenge. So what we're trying to do is we're going to give those collectors multiple moments with the intention that an encouragement that they should list them in the marketplace so that there's a wider distribution of collectors on Top Shot that are able to obtain those moments and then pursue the master challenge.
There you go.
There will also be a common challenge where the reward will be a Cool Cats moment. So only base set moments required. And if you collect all of the required base set moments, you'll be able to complete or to earn yourself a never to be sold in packs Cool Cats moment. And then there are going to be potentially other Cool Cats related activities, be it maybe a showcase contest, maybe be it a different type of challenge in which you'll acquire a never to be sold in packs Cool Cats moment that will be needed for this master challenge as well.
Gotcha. There you go. Pete, are you in the Cool Cats streets?
I did the Cool Cats challenge. I mean, it's come 360. I was just so wrong. Yes, I mean, I advocated for something for that Devin Booker, which is going to haunt me forever. And yeah, I still, as a collector, I think Series 1, I'm a big kind of. I like the original. I like base set, metallic gold, hollow. Like I'm a believer in that. I think there's definitely some really cool specific sets. I think Run It Back we talked about is going to be pretty epic. Already is epic, but I'm bullish on that. I think the playoffs are going to be awesome, and there's some really cool stuff there. I was wrong on Cool Cats, and I won an AD Cool Cat, so I went through it and got all those moments. I had a couple of them, but definitely went hunting through the marketplace.
I think Anthony Davis in general is a player that I'm really curious to see what the rest of his career looks like, because he seemingly has found a destination. Obviously, he's significantly younger than LeBron, and it's going to be a slightly different kind of career trajectory for them at this point, where LeBron might be winding down as AD is still kind of in his prime. And does AD just kind of take the mantle as like the superstar of the Lakers and then recruit a new star to join him? I think that might be like the easiest path forward. And certainly the Lakers have a great track record of being able to attract superstars. But if that's the case, then are we looking at AD as kind of one of the top 20 players of all time if he just is kind of the next great Laker, which he's already kind of carving out his opportunity to be?
Yeah, I think he's super underrated. I think he will be the best player in the league when LeBron retires. And I think there's a really natural path. I think what will end up happening is LeBron's going to try to stick around until Bronny James is in the NBA. Wherever Bronny James is drafted, LeBron will basically orchestrate a way to get to that team. At that point in time, that team, whatever assets they have, specifically whatever win now. I don't know what LeBron will care most about. I mean, he's going to care most about playing with his son, but my sense is that they might give up their win now player, especially if LeBron is at the very end of his career. He's going to value playing with his son and mentoring that team. It might be like a young, non-championship caliber team. And that win now player that team has to trade for LeBron or however it goes down ends up going to the Lakers. And I do believe, if I had to bet when LeBron James is, past the peak of his powers, I would take AD as the best player in the league. I know there's some other options, but with the combination of age and where he is now, you could argue LeBron's been playing so well lately, but you could argue he is the best player in the NBA.
Anthony Davis? Are you talking about AD or LeBron?
Yeah,
AD. I'm a huge AD.
It's intertwined. Like, what happens to
LeBron?
Yeah.
No, plus his defense is super underrated. Like, not underrated, but people don't talk about it. But can you think about a Top Shot moment of Bronny to LeBron alley-oop? That thing would be insane.
That would be like when Ken Griffey Sr. and Ken Griffey Jr. went back to back. Like, that's a generational thing.
There you go. Generational. Yeah, get a drink in for that. And I think that's what makes Top Shot so unique, right? And amazing. We play the game all the time. What's the greatest sports moment? What's the best buzzer beater? What's all that? And finally, you're going to be able to own a piece of history. I think it's as simple as that. You can use that catchphrase, Jacob, if you need to. Just
all right, we need to get Jacob on his way here. He has a busy day of Top Shot biz to take care of. But Jacob, thank you for swinging by and hanging with us for a bit.
Thank you for letting me in the club. It's been awesome and appreciate you guys. Pete, you've been on this bender for 3 straight days, so get some sleep tonight. Drink a lot of water. Maybe get some Gatorade in your system.
One more glass of champagne, just because I can't see you off without having a sip. So I'll take your advice later. Cheers, Jacob.
Yeah,
thanks a lot.
For the community, man. Like, just the person you are, the way you're interacting with people. You're respecting the platform, obviously keeping the stuff that you need to keep confidential. You're doing just A++ job, and it gives confidence to the users.
I appreciate it, man. And I think that the content that you all are putting out on a weekly basis, bi-weekly basis has really been a value add to our community, and it's been awesome to see. So thank you for all that you do, and happy collecting, and congrats on getting that pre-order. And Pete, good luck to you in the next hour or two as you move closer to the front of the line.
There we go. All right, Jacob, we'll talk to you soon, man. Have a good one.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Yep. So for those of you guys,
Can we pull up just something I think is important?
Yeah.
Can we pull up here? I can pull it up right now, actually. But there's been a lot of Twitter noobs who are brand new to Top Shot that are quote tweeting this Ish Smith, right? And I quote tweeted it this morning. And yes, an Ish Smith base moment, random cereal, probably not worth $4,300. But you've got some people who are going around like Big Cat, saying nothing shady about all of this. You've got some other people who are kind of tweeting it out. This was actually, we talked about this last night with LaMarcus Aldridge. This was like the best way to trade moments and actually get some security on the platform. So that's kind of the explanation. There's no money laundering going on here. And if the person was that dumb to money launder through Ish Smith with how much focus they're putting on KYC, that would just seem pretty silly because that is a major red flag. So it's really just a method to either trade, either buy packs off people until those features come fully. I feel like that could be built into Top Shot at some point in time, right? Like a legitimate trade machine where I put in my 2, you put in your 2, kind of like a fantasy trade. We both hit confirm. And if they confirm, they just swap on the blockchain. That seems like a realistic possibility down the road.
Yeah. Oh, you're muted.
You're on mute, Jennings. I've done it a couple times today. It's okay. It was your first time.
Dude, what's funny is I was not muted when I was typing for like the first time in a long time on this. Well, I guess I shouldn't say the first time in a long time, but normally I've been good about muting to type, and then I was botching that when Jacob was talking. But yeah, I think that's coming, and I have a sense that there's going to be more tools and stuff out there to evaluate and look at the fair prices of some of these moments. So I could see some really cool stuff there that would help kind of identify if trades are fair or not.
So we are going to start to land the plane here. Like I was saying earlier, got some things to do. As much as I would like to just stream Top Shot content 24/7 as a social experiment, I do have to get running here in a sec. If you're watching on the Top Shot homepage, they are going to throw up another Twitch stream here. Hopefully we can come back in the future. Had a lot of fun here. And if you guys would like to check out Club Top Shot, you can search for that in iTunes. You got the Twitter feed at Club Top Shot, and you can find the vids on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Peter Overzet. We will keep the club going up, having a ton of fun with it. And Pete, I mean, are we going to have okay, are we going to, does this guest have to wait for a future show? You're muted again, Pete.
There you go. That one's
egregious. I thought I clicked it. Yeah, we'll wait. We'll get an official. I'll get her dressed in her Nikes and stuff like that to officially come to the club. She's still eating right now, so we'll do that in the future.
There you go, Jack. Any final words for the people as we power this bad boy down?
No, I think like I always say, the market is open on the weekends. I'll see everyone in the marketplace. Get ready for the master tweet once the marketplace is back open, GIF and all. It's been a pleasure. We might be taking a little break. We might not, but I got to get my costumes and my outfits. What's up, Joey?
I think she might be able to make an appearance at the
I like it.
You can wish us off. Hold on. I think, let's see if this is actually happening. Give me 35 seconds over.
You're good. You're good.
So you can pull this off so she can see.
We're putting everyone in the queue. Put
the baby in the queue. She's about to move to the front of the line. VIP status. If you guys haven't watched this before, Peter is he's a new father. Had a baby girl named Gracie a few days ago. She is now permanent club VIP member for life, and she has not made her debut, which is crazy. I heard as a 1-day-old, she was like, "Get me in the club," and Pete's like, "Hey, not until you're 3 days old, all right?" And that's what we're gonna do here if we can get this going. Normally, Jack, we do like a walk-off pack drop opening. We're going to do a walk-off baby drop here.
I love it. Yeah. I love it. Yeah. And okay. All right.
Jack, what do you got?
So my name right now is Small Child. What's that make Gracie?
The very small child.
The smallest child.
Yeah. It's
generational baby.
Yeah. Jack, anything you got a stream going later tonight, right?
Yeah, the FCF, and someone just told me that Josh Gordon might be joining the league, which I know you're a huge NFL fan.
Yeah, that's sweet.
So that could potentially, he might be teaming back up with Johnny Manziel. But Snapback Sports on Twitch, 7:30, 8 p.m. Eastern, we'll be streaming the Wild Aces back in action. Call the plays with us. Little plug there, but it's okay.
There you go. Yeah. Check out Jack, fractionally invested in a football team. You love to see it.
I'm kind of pissed. Here we go.
Oh, baby in the club. Let's go full screen.
Baby in the club. Good
Gracie.
She's so
Look
tiny.
at that head of hair.
I know. Hey, sweetheart, are you excited to be in the club? Can we get you a moment?
Oh, Gracie. Oh, Gracie in the club.
Gracie in the club. But yeah, Top Shot, we got to keep it rolling. And Gracie's the youngest ever to be in the club.
There you go.
Here, huh?
Gracie, you're muted right now. We can't hear you.
No, you actually just freaked Jennings out. 2 hands on the baby, Pete. 2 hands on the baby.
I love it. Someone in the Twitch comment says, "Congratulations, what a tiny child." Yes, they are pretty small at that age. It's crazy. All right, guys, we are gonna walk off on the baby here. We appreciate
time out. Can we give one more comment some love? Does she have her own account? Will she pass KYC?
No, the moments are going to get passed down to her someday. But we thank you guys for tuning in to the Club Top Shot stream. You guys are all family here, like Olive Garden. So for Pete, for Gracie, for Jack Settleman, I'm Peter Overzet. We're Club Top Shot. Thank you guys for hosting us, having us today. Top Shot. Enjoy the ride, guys. We'll see you in a moment.